My daily life in a TV series. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 626. The medical center should not be wasted on its beautiful scenery and good times. VIP ward. Sheldon was so shocked by Adam that he doubted his life. But his little cousin Amelia had a great admiration for her cousin Sheldon. My cousin is actually a rocket scientist. Amelia was very proud. Rocket scientist? When Sheldon heard this, his eyes widened and he looked over. I am studying theoretical physics, and I will be a theoretical physicist in the future. What's the difference? Missy interrupted. Don't stare at me with your big eyes inherited from your mother. It will scare Amelia. She is just proud of you. Yeah. Amelia nodded repeatedly. If you are really proud of me, just tell me what I studied. Sheldon bulged his eyes and shouted, rocket scientist? How humiliating. Everyone. The two sides' ideas are completely different. In the United States, rocket scientists refer to genius scientists. But in Sheldon's honest mind, rocket scientists refer to those scientists who study rockets. For example, Leonard has studied rocket gunpowder, and he is also considered a rocket scientist. Leonard, the future experimental physicist, has been mocked by Sheldon, the theoretical physicist, for his entire life. This shows that Sheldon really thinks that being called a rocket scientist is a serious humiliation. Okay, Shelley. Sheldon's mother Mary couldn't stand it any longer. Are you hungry? Whether you're hungry or not, what's the difference? Why waste food? Sheldon was pulled back to the current situation where he was hit hard by Adam. He leaned back and said sadly, have you forgotten that in Texas, if a cow has no milk, the farmers will not continue to feed it. They will lead it out and shoot it in the middle of the eyebrows. Mom, what are you doing? But while Sheldon was talking, Mary flicked his forehead. Didn't you say to shoot it in the middle of the eyebrows? Mary stared with big eyes. I'm just letting you feel it in advance now, Mommy. Sheldon called dissatisfiedly. That's enough. Mary frowned and said, Shelley, you used to dislike that no one was as smart as you and couldn't talk to you. Now your two good friends, Adam and Peggy, are as smart as you. Shouldn't you be happy, Mom? Sheldon is a typical person who says he likes something, but when something is really in front of him, he can't accept it. Missy complained. The friends he likes are very close to him, but not as smart as him. Not Adam and Peggy, who are all smarter than him. They are not smarter than me. Sheldon was unwilling to accept it and muttered. Yes, Mary comforted, you are in different fields, and you are both the best. With Missy's complaints and Mary's comfort, Sheldon recovered. In Adam's apartment, Peggy also pushed Adam, indicating that he needed time to slow down. Missy reminded me of something, Peggy said meaningfully. What is it? Adam simply stretched out his hand to give Peggy a full-body massage to help her recover as soon as possible. He is a doctor, a genius doctor. Since his basic body values have been continuously improved, he has started to teach himself massage. Now he is so professional that those professional masseurs are ashamed. There is no way. He is such a kind man who cherishes women. My skin. Peggy enjoyed Adam's massage very much. She squinted her eyes and raised her hand. She said that my skin is worse than when I was a child. I recalled and compared it. It is indeed the case. Since I was 13, my skin condition has begun to decline. It has been like this for many years until I met you again after I turned 18. In the past 6 months, my skin seems to be growing backwards and getting better and better. What do you think is going on? What else can it be? Adam's heart skipped a beat. He immediately repeated Peggy's previous actions in his mind, projecting all the images of Peggy over the years together. After comparing, he immediately found that Peggy's skin had indeed changed amazingly. They are often together, so this kind of cumulative change has been overlooked. But if it were someone else, it would be easy to find this change. I didn't lie to you. Haha. Peggy sneered, closed her eyes, enjoyed Adam's massage, and stopped talking. Adam didn't know whether she was laughing because he hadn't lied to her before or was lying to her now. He couldn't help but feel guilty, and the massage became more diligent. At the same time, He was also thinking about the impact of this incident, because at this moment, he compared his female friends in his mind and found that Heather, who was very close to him, had similar changes. Others had more or less, but it was not so obvious. Damn it, Adam cursed in his heart. It was just a joke in the boudoir before. Who would have thought that it would come true? If this was exposed, he might be in trouble. But he soon breathed a sigh of relief, because after he compared all the information, he found a pattern. That is, this effect is not endless. At the beginning, he and Heather were almost living together for a few years, loving and lingering every night, and there was no sign of Heather returning to her childhood. It just made Heather's skin delicate and youthful. In the past few years, there was less contact. Although Heather's skin was still delicate, Adam could still see the signs of aging slowly when he kept magnifying and comparing. Recently, it has rebounded to its peak state. Adam thought carefully, and his basic attributes are developing towards the inhuman realm, especially his endurance, which has surpassed that of VCU, and is rapidly approaching the inhuman realm. Although Adam can only live to be 30-something now, he has a different quality of life. Adam has never been sick or in trouble, and has unlimited energy. Think of the Cahuan ginseng fruit, which is shaped like a child under 3 days old, with all 4 limbs and 5 senses. If a person is lucky enough to smell the fruit, he can live for 360 years. If he eats one, he can live for 47,000 years. There is also the tang monk meat, which has a similar effect. Adam naturally cannot compare with these two, but it is not completely unreasonable to create this effect now. A myth effect, a system effect. It makes sense. However, this also made him secretly alert that not everyone can say the jokes in the boudoir. If they are not related, they must keep a certain distance. Hiss. What are you doing? When Adam was secretly swearing, Peggy's cry came to his ear. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Adam realized that he had a bad habit of swearing and apologized quickly. Peggy took the opportunity to sleep. They had played all day today and were very tired. But Adam apologized. But he did not give up his principles. Just kidding. Tonight is for you, beautiful as a flower, and time flies like water. What can I do with the beautiful scenery? Who can enjoy the pleasure? Sleep? It's such a bummer. So Adam told Peggy, the ice and snow girl who had entered the mortal world, the romantic myth of the cowherd and the weaver girl, and told her about the magical operation of the Eastern Kingdom that one day in heaven is 1 year underground, and complained that the Queen Mother loved her own daughter. But Peggy's focus was on the root cause of the time difference between heaven and underground, which was the problem of gravity. She began to seriously calculate the gravity problem of different planets in heaven and underground. It was concluded that in order to have such an effect, the planet in the sky must be a celestial body such as a neutron star or a black hole to have such a strong gravity. She limited the imagination of the ancient people of the Eastern Kingdom that transcended time and space. Chapter 627, Be Vigilant for a Night. The next day, Adam went to the medical center in the spring breeze. Sheldon and Missy had already left. They both had things to do and couldn't stay here with their little cousin and aunt. Even Sheldon's grandmother left. That's right, she is so charming. Many old men want to pursue her and marry her but can't. She also has a lover in Texas who is eagerly waiting for her to come back. But she doesn't have the time for a daughter who is devoted to God. Of course, her daughter Mary has a lot of opinions about this, but she, as always, persuaded her daughter to have her own life. How old is she? How old is her daughter? Who of them has a more comfortable life? It's obvious. Dressing room. Wow, our dancing god is here. Christina started to joke as soon as she saw Adam. How many nurses danced with you last night? You didn't come last night. Adam laughed. Didn't I tell you I'm not going? Christina shrugged and said, I have no interest in the dance. Meredith and George are here. Adam glanced at George and Meredith, who was looking down, and said meaningfully, I believe they had a great time. What do you mean? Christina immediately noticed the problem and looked at the two friends. Nothing. George waved his hand reservedly. He is very popular with women. Adam smiled and said, Dr. Kelly Torres took the initiative to invite him to dance. Kelly Torres, the orthopedic resident? Christina was surprised. Okay, George, you finally got it. It's not what you think, George hurriedly explained. We simply appreciate each other, Not like you and Meredith. What are we like? Christina looked at him coldly. Ignore what I said. George lowered his head and didn't dare to say anything more. One is his goddess, and the other is the goddess's poisonous best friend. He can't afford to offend either of them. Meredith, you went there last night too? Christina looked at Meredith, who was hanging her head and not saying anything again. With Finn. Finn is a veterinarian and has recently started dating Meredith. They met at the bar again. Meredith's dream of knitting sweaters in the bar was broken in the middle of her life. Yes. Adam smiled strangely. Finn is a good guy. Christina didn't see Adam's expression, and discussed her best friend's boyfriend with Meredith. She nodded and said, although he is not as handsome as Mr. Dream, he is a good boyfriend. Yeah. Meredith's body stiffened, and she closed the closet with a snap. She responded perfunctorily and turned to walk outside. Huh? No matter how stupid Christina was at this time, she understood that there was a story behind it. She glanced at Adam, who looked playful, and chased after Meredith. Morning. Emergency room. What's the situation? A newborn premature baby was found in the school trash can with the umbilical cord still attached. The emergency personnel said quickly, you didn't give him an 4 drip. He's dehydrated. Adam quickly took it and checked it. Can't find a vein. The emergency worker shook his head. I need to find an 4 point. Adam said to the nurse, give me a bone marrow needle and a set of neonatal intubation equipment, and call Dr. Montgomery Shepherd. Yes, doctor, the nurse responded immediately. Neonatal department. Adam, what's the situation? Dr. Montgomery arrived. Premature newborn, with bruises on his body, platelets 17,000, court scan shows that he has internal bleeding. The situation is very serious. Adam said. 17,000, have you had a blood transfusion? Dr. Montgomery was surprised. Of course. Adam nodded. Now we need to find the child's mother immediately and take her platelets for antibody testing. But he was abandoned in the school's trash can. It is estimated that an underage female student secretly gave birth to the baby and threw it away. The school is still investigating. Dr. Montgomery Shepherd. Some people came and said it was related to the baby. The nurse came in to remind. I see. Dr. Montgomery nodded. Adam, you continue to take care of him. I'll go over and take a look. Okay, call me if you need anything. Adam continued to check the body of the premature abandoned baby. Family waiting area. 4 young girls in school uniforms sat in a row, while their fathers or mothers sat opposite them, and no one spoke. I am Dr. Montgomery Shepherd, responsible for treating newborns. Dr. Montgomery came over and said, he is now in an emergency bleeding situation. We must know who this baby belongs to. Yeah, we all want to know. One of the mothers looked at her daughter angrily. Sarah, tell me. I know nothing about this baby. The female student named Sarah, wearing glasses and looking like a good girl, shook her head. Yes, we don't know. Another one echoed. One of you must know. Otherwise your parents would not bring you here. Dr. Montgomery said bluntly. Our girls. A mother hesitated. According to the principal, they were the last people to stay in the bathroom before the baby was found, so we wanted to find out before the police came. Some of you must know. You'd better admit it. I don't want my Lisa to be involved in this. The police will be here soon. A father pointed at the girls angrily. In the United States, abandoning a baby is illegal and you will go to jail. Can't you just do a DNA test? A mother said irritably. Then the rest of us can leave directly. It will take several days to get the results of the DNA test. Dr. Montgomery took a deep breath. I don't care when you leave. This baby doesn't have that much time. If he can't get effective treatment as soon as possible, he will die. Now I want to monitor every girl for hidden knife. My daughter is only 14 years old. She has no heart behavior. I won't let you violate her body. A mother strongly objected. You don't let her do it, which means you have something to hide. The only father shouted, Doctor, you can do any test you want, as long as my daughter Lisa is innocent as soon as possible. I don't want your permission, but the girls, Dr. Montgomery interrupted. Although the girls' custody is still in the hands of their parents, they still need to get the girls' consent to do this kind of test. We didn't do anything wrong. Just because we are there doesn't mean that it is our child. Do we look like the kind of pregnant girls who throw their children into the trash? The girls spoke up one after another. Dr. Montgomery looked at their young and sweet faces and sighed. "I have no idea, but I know someone who can tell the difference." "Nurse, go get Dr. Duncan." "Yes," the nurse responded and left. "Who is this Dr. Duncan?" the parents asked. "He is a genius doctor in our hospital." Dr. Montgomery smiled reluctantly. "He is particularly good at distinguishing right from wrong. No one can deceive him." When Adam came, he had already heard the nurse's story and looked at the girls with a heavy heart. "These 4 girls are all very innocent and sweet. But one of them is probably doing something wrong." "Hello, I'm Dr. Duncan." Adam smiled and said, "I know you don't want to admit that you have anything to do with this. I understand. After all, abandoning a baby is illegal. In fact, the mother of this baby is really stupid. The United States has a safe zone law. As long as you leave the baby at the fire station or the hospital, it's not a big deal. But throwing it directly in the trash can, that's too much. Now that you stand up, you can still save this child. If you don't make a big fuss about this matter, the sentence will be lighter. If this baby dies because he doesn't get timely treatment, he will be sentenced to 10 years in prison." "Who wants to spend 10 years in prison?" "Is there anyone standing up now?" Adam said, looking at the micro-expressions of the 4 girls. The 4 girls all lowered their heads. No one responded, but Adam actually knew who it was. He looked at the girl with the sweetest appearance and said, "What's your name, Shannon?" Dr. Montgomery was startled, because this Shannon girl was the one who just said sincerely, "Do we look like the kind of pregnant girl who throws her baby into the trash can?" She had the purest and sweetest appearance, and the most sincere and innocent eyes. She was the first girl she ruled out in her heart. "It's not me," Shannon shouted in panic. "You slandered me." "I knew it was her." The mothers of the other girls saw that someone was identified and ruled out their daughters as suspects, and immediately opened fire. She was adopted herself. She must have psychological problems to do such a cruel thing. "That's right, she inherited her biological parents' looks and is so beautiful. Her style is also inherited from her parents. It has long been rumored that she has had countless boyfriends at a young age." "Enough." Shannon's mother first looked at her daughter in disbelief, and then shouted to everyone, "Don't say that about Shannon." Then she glared at Adam with red eyes. "Why do you say it's Shannon? If there is no evidence, I will sue you." Chapter 628. Slap yourself twice. Are you afraid? Medical center. "I can't tell who is lying," Adam said calmly, "and there is blood on Shannon's shoes that has not been wiped clean thoroughly. Didn't you notice it?" When everyone heard this, they all looked at the shoes of the girl Shannon. In American TV series, middle school students wear short skirts. The girl Shannon immediately closed her legs, which seemed to be a natural reaction of shyness, but her heels moved under the chair without making a sound. "Don't hide, I saw it." The mother of the girl was sharp-eyed. With Adam's reminder, she had already seen a dark red color in Shannon's heels. Thinking of the girl giving birth to her first child directly in the bathroom, there must be blood dripping. The blood stains on the outside of the sneakers are easy to wipe, but the lining of the sneakers will be stained as soon as it is touched. It is not something that can be wiped clean simply by wiping with water, because there is only a little bit. No one thought about it before, so no one noticed it. But once someone pointed it out and saw it, it would be the biggest suspect. "It is indeed her." The parents of the other girls were overjoyed. This completely cleared their daughters of suspicion. "You know, if no one admits this, these 4 girls will have to bear this suspicion throughout their high school career, not to mention whether the girls can bear it. Even as parents, they certainly can't bear other people's pointing fingers. People live by their faces. Americans are no exception. Moving away at will is the willfulness of the rich and the last resort. It's not that easy." "Shannon, you still don't want to admit it?" Dr. Montgomery looked at this most innocent and sweet girl with heartache. "Your son is dying. He needs your help. There was no evidence before, so we couldn't apply for a compulsory examination." Adam saw that the girl Shannon was still unwilling to admit it, and reminded her, "But now there is evidence, and the baby is on the verge of death, which is enough for the judge to approve a decree for an emergency compulsory examination. Even without this decree, the subsequent DNA comparison will get an accurate answer in a few days." Snap, snap. The girl Shannon's face changed. She stretched out her hands and slapped herself twice, then her mouth pursed, tears flowed down, and she said pitifully, "Woo, it's all my fault, I was too scared, I didn't want this, woo, I'm only 14 years old, I don't know anything." This action without any signs shocked everyone. It was unexpected. "You said it. Why did you slap yourself twice? Was it self-blame or to scare someone?" Adam's mouth twitched, because he keenly noticed that when the girl Shannon slapped herself twice, the other three girls lowered their heads and shook twice, which was very consistent with the sound of the girl Shannon's slap. He understood immediately. The other three girls helped to conceal it not only because of friendship, but more because of fear. This girl, who is the shortest, slimmest, and most pure and sweet among the four girls, has the ability to scare other girls. Although she is not the same type as the strong big sister Penny, she is definitely a big sister, or it would be more appropriate to call her the Queen Bee. Her inner cruelty was concealed by her sweet and innocent appearance. Only the friends who followed her knew her true face. She was so skilled at slapping herself twice that she had probably slapped others before. The more innocent and sweet she looked, the more cruel her methods were. This strong sense of contrast made her look even more terrifying. It was no wonder that the other three girls, faced with such a big event and the repeated advice of their parents, did not dare to say a word or make a face. The school, parents, police, and the life and death of the baby, all these pressures and fears were on them at the age of 14, but they were nothing compared to Shannon's glance. This was really scary. A 14-year-old girl could hide it from everyone, bring her three little sisters, give birth in the bathroom, throw the baby directly into the trash can after giving birth, clean up, and return to the classroom with a smile, and continue the class without any abnormality. With this mentality, do you believe that she is not a pervert? How could the other three 14-year-old girls not be afraid of such a pervert? Adam understood them very well and sympathized with them. This is a mixed world of American TV series and movies where perverts emerge in an endless stream. Back then, when he first crossed over, even Adam, who had the system, was still unable to do what he wanted for several years. He was forced to become a drama queen. When facing a pervert who can really hurt or even kill you at any time, how can a normal person not be afraid? Is it because their knives are not sharp? Don't cry first. Dr. Montgomery looked at Shannon with a complicated expression and interrupted. Since you admit it, then come with me to get a test. We must hurry to save the baby. The shock she received was very great, because she never thought it was Shannon. This huge contrast, coupled with the fact that she understood Shannon's previous terrible behavior, and then watched Shannon's self-blame and regret performance of looking very attractive, was enough to make her feel cold behind her back. Yeah. Shannon wiped her tears and nodded repeatedly, then rushed to her adoptive mother, hugged her and cried, "Mom, I don't want to go to jail, I really didn't mean it, you must help me." The mother and daughter cried for a long time at the corner, and then, under the repeated urging of Dr. Montgomery, they followed to do the examination. The parents of the other three girls happily took the three silent girls away, and only Shannon's adoptive mother stayed behind with a complicated expression. Adam looked at her deeply, shook his head, and left. Because of his super hearing, he was the only person at the scene who could hear Shannon whispering in her adoptive mother's ear while she was crying and hugging her adoptive mother. What Shannon said was, "Contact my biological parents. Things have come to this point. Although this is not what I want, it is also a good opportunity, isn't it? Tell them that if they don't want their reputation to be ruined, they should help me hire the best lawyer to defend me. I don't want to go to jail. They dislike me for being sick and for being so troublesome. They just want to be free and easy and want to get rid of me completely. You wish, even if I am sick, it was forced by them, who made them give birth to me. This time, you must pay attention. This is a fight to the death. Don't be like before, when you didn't even see them and were scared back by their lawyers in a few words. It's useless. Without hard work, how can there be gains? If you succeed this time, you won't have to worry about having no money in the future. If you fail and I go to jail, then when I get out, you will be my enemy just like them. Mom, you don't want to be my enemy, do you?" Shannon's adoptive mother trembled and said, Yes. Very good. Shannon hugged her adoptive mother's neck, crying and whispering in her ear, as long as we have a relationship with them. Think about it. If one day, my biological parents suddenly die, who will their huge property belong to? It's us, mother and daughter. Don't worry, they are Hollywood stars. It's normal for the West Poison to die suddenly. Maybe I can make my debut in Hollywood in their memory. With my conditions, I will definitely be more successful than them and become a real Hollywood star. By then, we will have more and more money. Don't you want to live a rich life? So now that things have come to this, there is no way back. Don't be timid, just do it. I'm waiting for your good news. Adam, who heard all this, mourned for Shannon's biological parents for a few seconds, but he wouldn't say anything. First, no one would believe such a thing without evidence or rumors. Second, in Adam's eyes, Shannon's biological parents deserved it. He didn't have the time to deal with such a rotten thing. Shiranju said, if you have this time, you should learn more about the deeds of scientists who are truly promoting the progress of human society and pay more attention to their health status, which is far more meaningful than paying attention to these bad things. For Adam, this sentence is too reasonable. If he has this time, he should learn more mathematics from the most beautiful mathematician Peggy, pay more attention to Peggy's research, and give Peggy more inspiration. Isn't it good? P.S. Thanks to the reward from Washazayu 20. Chapter 629 Adam, I want to control the earth and play with the three-body medical center, neonatal department. After Adam found the hidden cold-blooded girl, the poor abandoned baby who was abandoned in the trash can welcomed a new life. After doing the maternal platelet antibody test, Dr. Montgomery successfully saved the poor abandoned baby. Outside the baby incubator, Dr. Montgomery looked at the baby boy inside with pity. What a poor little thing. How can someone be so cruel? There are many cruel people in this world. Adam on the side. Fortunately, the current network information is not strong enough. Otherwise I really don't know how he will face all this in the future. In the previous life, when Adam and his friends were young, their parents would joke that Adam and his friends were picked up from the trash can. That was a joke. But now it has become more and more a reality. It's really the age when the internet has memory, nothing can be deleted, and everything can be found. If this abandoned boy who was almost watched by his cold-blooded mother saw these reports, what kind of experience would it be? In the world of American dramas, there are countless perverts, and almost every one of them has an unfortunate childhood. If this abandoned dying boy turns evil in the future, it might be a good American TV series. Let's not talk about the future, Dr. Montgomery said sadly. What will happen to him now is a very worrying thing. When this child is discharged from the hospital, he will be handed over to his mother who doesn't know whether he will go to prison, or to his grandmother who doesn't know what's going on. She is not a grandmother who knows nothing. Adam shook his head. From the explosive information he heard, it can be known that Shannon's adoptive mother is not a good person. Maybe she was at the beginning, but now it is obvious that she is not. Taking Shannon's identity actively or passively and starting to seek benefits, this is the beginning of degeneration. Jushiran once said, how you treat your parents, your children will watch and learn from you, and your words and deeds will be subtly influenced. One day, your children will treat you the same way. This abandoned baby fell into the hands of this mother and daughter. Perhaps it is another reincarnation. Adam has consulted about the possibility of adopting this abandoned baby by a welfare agency, but if the child's mother, especially the grandmother, does not give up, it is difficult to get the custody of the child, and this will involve the child's two real grandparents in Hollywood. If the celebrity scandal is exposed, and if billionaires, genius doctors, 14-year-old girls, who is the father of the child, etc. are added, the gossip media will explode with joy. Tony Stark feeds a large number of gossip tabloids with his own strength, which is no joke. Although Adam sighed in his heart, he did not intend to dive into the pile of trouble, because this kind of thing will be very troublesome to get involved. If it were Liz, she might get excited and think it is right, and rush forward regardless of the consequences. But Adam is not Liz. He knows clearly that he is not omnipotent. The unscrupulous media's reckless pursuit of traffic will have no end. and it will easily exceed his ability margin, and then seriously affect his first plan of curing diseases, saving lives and increasing life. It seems that I have to buy more stocks of media groups in the future. The steady Adam thought. No wonder those rich people will continue to pursue more wealth and power, and there will never be an end. Because as long as you don't hold the earth like a certain god, play with 3 neutron stars, and be invincible in the world, you can only play with yourself, and you really don't feel safe. There are always villains who want to harm me. Dr. Montgomery obviously has a special feeling for this poor abandoned baby, and has been staying here to watch him. After Adam's thoughts went astray, he put down the case and walked out. Of course, he has passed Shannon's information to his security department, and someone will monitor Shannon's movements. Once there is a sign of threat to him, he will get an early warning. At that time, Adam will use obvious or covert means to eliminate the threat in advance. In front of the surgical bulletin board. "You must be kidding me," Dr. Bailey's highly recognizable voice sounded, "whose underwear is placed on the bulletin board?" Exclamation mark. "Everyone, this is a hospital. The work here is serious. We are here to save lives. Whose is this? Stand up." Adam walked over and saw a standard pair of black women's underwear on the bulletin board, with a line of words on it, "Lost and waiting to be claimed." Dr. Bailey, a resident doctor who returned to the hospital after her maternity leave ended early, stood there with her hands on her hips, looking around angrily. Many medical staff were laughing on the side. Meredith and Christina stood there with nervous expressions. "I knew it was one of you." Dr. Bailey had already noticed that something was wrong with Meredith and the others, and walked over with a cold face. "They have always been my interns, always." First Alex, then Liz, left as they should have been fired. If Dr. Bailey was not a recognized doctor with first-class character and skills, if she changed the resident, she would probably be investigated by the hospital to see whether it was the intern's problem or the resident himself who could not lead people. But even though the hospital and colleagues still believed in her, Dr. Bailey herself was still very self-blaming and sad. Alex and Liz, after all, were her interns. Although she looked strict, she was emotionally invested in every intern under her. She wanted to train them to be qualified doctors, but Alex and Liz didn't give her a chance. From time to time, they would use neurotic behaviors that were beyond her imagination to hit her throat hard, making her unable to speak. When she just suppressed Liz's matter, she was afraid that her intern would make trouble again and return early, and the first thing she saw was this kind of weird thing. Christina turned her head and secretly winked at Meredith, asking Meredith to admit it quickly. She didn't want to take the blame for Meredith, but Meredith was just dumbfounded and didn't react at all. Adam, who saw all this, actually guessed the reason. Because this underwear was probably the one that Dr. Shep took away at the party last night when Meredith and Dr. Shep found a room in the hospital and relived their past. Adam happened to catch a glimpse of this scene when he left with Peggy. Meredith's current boyfriend, veterinarian Finn, was still looking for his girlfriend at the party. When he came in the morning, Adam saw with his own eyes that Dr. Montgomery had nailed the underwear there with his own hands. He looked at it with a complicated expression for a while before leaving. Dr. Montgomery was in a bad mood all morning, especially when Shannon and the others wanted to hide the truth. He was very excited and said, "The truth will not be buried. It will be exposed sooner or later." So Adam looked at Meredith with a playful look in the locker room in the morning. "Oh, no, I left my underwear here again." At the embarrassing moment, a slightly plump female resident walked over, put the underwear away, and said, "Sorry, Bailey, it's my fault." Dr. Bailey was surprised, but didn't say anything. Because this slightly plump female resident was at the same level as her and was also an excellent doctor, she knew that the other party almost lived in the hospital, and it was normal for such a mistake to cause such a thing. After Dr. Bailey left, Christina breathed a sigh of relief and patted George, who was confused. "George, she's not bad. I'm starting to like her a little." That's right, this slightly plump female resident was the orthopedic resident Kelly Torres, who had a crush on George. "Dr. Montgomery is really nice. He even helped her clean up." Adam walked over and smiled playfully. "What?" Meredith screamed. She was even more embarrassed after being reminded by Adam. She didn't think she was the third party before, because she was indeed just a girl who was deceived by a scumbag, but now she is no longer qualified to say so. P.S. Thanks to Yida Huang Hun for the reward. Chapter 630. What is it like to have a tree in your body? Medical center. In the surgical corridor. What happened? George was still a little confused. His expression was very unnatural. Are you jealous? Christina shouted in surprise. I'm not. George tried his best to deny it, but his expression could not deceive anyone. No way. You are jealous of her so soon. Christina was amazed, and then glanced at Meredith. Isn't this bad? Adam smiled and said, Dr. Tallis is very good, and it's normal for George to like her. Everyone laughed and said, and then dispersed. OMG. Sheldon's mother Mary also noticed the excitement here, came over to take a look, and shouted to God with disgust. She didn't like such an open style. Adam, are your doctors usually so casual? Mary frowned. This is a special case. Adam hurriedly explained. Didn't you see how angry Dr. Bailey was? This is a hospital, a place to treat patients and save lives. Of course, it's impossible to be like this at ordinary times. That's okay. Mary pulled her niece Amelia, whose face was slightly red, and reminded her, girls should love themselves, and never learn to be like this. Adam quickly left. Emergency. Dr. Duncan, I just received a notification from the emergency center that an ambulance will be here soon. The patient is in a serious condition. The nurse stepped forward to remind him. Okay, I know. Adam nodded, stretched out his hand, and asked the nurse to put on his surgical gown, then took the initiative to walk outside the hospital and wait for the arrival of the ambulance. Outside the hospital building, an ambulance arrived with a roar. Jill, what's the situation? Adam immediately went to meet it. He even remembered the names of so many people in the hospital, so naturally he would not forget the names of these emergency personnel who often went to the hospital. Harry Hernandez, 14 years old, was playing on his back and sliding a small sled. He lost control and hit a car. Witnesses said that he was hit by the car and flew into the air, at least 20 feet high, and then fell into a pile of branches. His pelvis was obviously broken. I guess there was severe internal bleeding. Later, the first aid worker Jill showed an expression that he didn't know what to say. Adam had already looked serious. Just kidding. At least 20 feet high. That is more than 6 meters, 2 floors high. Not jumping down, but losing balance and falling down. It is easy to get seriously injured. Not to mention that the ground is not grass, but branches and vines. However, even though he was serious enough, after other emergency personnel carefully pushed the patient out of the ambulance, Adam still took a breath of cold air. Holy shit! Adam shouted in his heart. He saw a boy lying on the stretcher, with a green patch behind his head. At other times, Adam would have complained in his heart that there was really a green patch on his head, but now, he couldn't bear to say this, because the green patch behind the boy's head was indeed a tree, and the 10-centimeter thick branch directly penetrated the boy's right waist. That's right, when the boy was knocked away and fell, he was directly pierced by the branch. This is much scarier than the thin steel pipe that pierced 2 people at the beginning. Harry, you're in the hospital. We'll take care of you. Adam hurried forward, helping to move while talking to the boy who was still awake but already confused. Hospital? What happened to me? Although the boy was a little confused, the pain all over his body still made him cry with fear. You're an idiot. That's it. At this time, a car drove over, and a bald middle-aged man hurriedly got out of the car and scolded the boy anxiously and angrily. Dad, the boy called out guiltily. Sir, back off. Adam frowned. The nurses immediately stepped forward to block the boy's furious father, protecting Adam and pushing the trolley to the hospital. You and your friends are idiots. You didn't make good use of the reason given to you by God, and did such a stupid thing. The boy's father pushed the nurse away excitedly, pointing at the boy and scolding him, and repeatedly tried to move forward, but was blocked by the nurses. With such an injury, Adam was directly sent to the operating room. Dr. Burke and Richard, the chief of surgery, who received the news, rushed over and quickly performed the operation. His kidney is necrotic. There is no way to save it. Try to control the renal artery first. I found another bleeding point. Dr. Duncan. Got it? Leave it to me. Everyone, this operation will take a long time. Is there enough blood? Richard, the chief surgeon, presided over the entire operation. Yes, Chief, the nurse replied. A few hours later, the fixator has been locked. There is no major bleeding, and the track has been cleared. Have his parents come to say goodbye to him? The mother has not arrived yet, and the father is in a state of disarray and is unwilling to come in to say goodbye. After receiving the report from Madam and others, Richard, the chief surgeon, took a deep breath. Okay, everyone, prepare to remove the branch. Everyone take your positions, carefully cut it open, and take it out in small pieces. No one is sure of this kind of injury. There is a high probability that once the branch is pulled out, the boy will die soon, so before the operation, it is better to say goodbye to the family first, in case there is no chance to say goodbye again. But the boy's father was too angry at the boy's reckless behavior, or he was afraid to face the scene of losing his son, so he did not perform this farewell ceremony. However, the boy's father was unwilling to accept the opportunity, and Adam and his team would not wait, and directly carried out the most dangerous operation to remove the branch. The operation lasted until the evening. With the concerted efforts of everyone, the boy miraculously survived after losing a kidney and a large section of intestine. Everyone marveled at the miracle of life. We are all human beings, and we all have only one life. Some people may die in the operating room after a small operation, but some people, with such injuries, still survived without any danger. The miracle and luck here make it hard not to think of the question of whether a certain big man really exists. Thank God. Adam accompanied Dr. Burke to see the boy's father. The boy's father immediately prayed, then collapsed in his seat, and the whole person was in a state of dismay again. Mr. Hernandez, your son is fine, Dr. Burke reminded puzzledly. I know. The boy's father smiled bitterly. This is all my fault. I knew the thing was dangerous, but I didn't have the heart to stop it. He and his friend had a slide on the mountain. I have been imagining the scene of him sliding down the mountain. I should have stopped him. Children sometimes lose control, Dr. Burke advised. They lose control, and you can't control it. No, I can't control it, the boy's father interrupted. I should control it too, before their minds are mature. As a parent, I have the responsibility to control their healthy growth. At least don't commit suicide. At this point, he said painfully, since the divorce, I can only see him once every 2 weeks on weekends. I should never buy him that supine sliding sled. Even if he pesters me again, I shouldn't buy it. I was weak. When he needed a father, I was weak. This is wrong. Looking at such a father, compared to Dr. Burke who did not comment, Adam was quite impressed. He agreed with what the boy's father said. Before children are mature, it is the most basic responsibility of parents to control them from committing suicide. However, due to divorce and family breakdown, parents are unable to raise their children as a whole, but have to do their best to please their children on visiting days. This overindulgence and the fear of interfering will inevitably cause some problems. It's just a matter of the size of the problem. Chapter 631 The Harsh Reality, Medical Center. After finishing another case in the classic American TV series where a man was so wounded in pursuit of freedom that he could only say I am Groot, Adam's phone rang. After answering the call, it was Matthew. He asked Adam to meet him, and his mood was obviously not right. Old friends bar. Adam. Matthew waved. Hi. Adam came over and sat opposite Matthew. He looked at him and found that he was just worried, without any other expressions such as anger or despair. He must have. What's wrong? What's wrong? It's Lily. Matthew took a sip of beer and confided, since she drew a picture of our wedding last week, she has been unhappy and doesn't even want to go to work. Adam, do you think she doesn't want to marry me? No. Adam smiled and said, it's my fault. Lily told me before that she remembered her dream when she first went to college. Matthew, do you still remember Lily's dream when she first went to college? Matthew tilted his head and thought for a while, then smiled awkwardly. I only think of the scene when I first met Lily, but I can only recall that she appeared in my perspective like an angel, with a glance and a smile, as poetic as a painting. As for what she said at the time, I really have no impression. There is only the picture. No audio or subtitles loaded. Adam smiled knowingly. At that time, Matthew, like all men, had already refined his spirit into chi, and his chi sank into his Duncan. What he said casually were the most typical flattering words of men, without thinking at all, not to mention that so many years have passed. Even if he had said it at that time, he probably would have forgotten what he said. She doesn't want to be bound, she wants to travel, and she wants to be a great artist. Adam said, for this reason, she broke up with her ex-boyfriend in high school, but she met you on the first day of college, and after telling you about these dreams, she has been in love with you ever since, and now they are getting married, so she still regrets it and doesn't want to marry me. Matthew keenly grasped the key point. You can't say that, Adam explained. You know, it's normal for a bride to be nervous before the wedding. She's just hesitating about another possible life that she doesn't necessarily want. Now it's okay, the dream is broken, and I'm sober. I'm in a bad mood for a while, but it will be better in a few days. The dream is broken? Matthew's eyes widened. What happened? Didn't Lily always want to be a painter? Adam said, under the stimulation of your upcoming marriage, she has been suffering from insomnia for the past month. She always feels that once she gets married, she will have a child. After having a child, there is no possibility of pursuing her dream. At this point, seeing that Matthew wanted to speak, Adam waved his hand and said, don't deny it. The last time I went to your house for Christmas, she was almost scared to death because of nausea and vomiting. Obviously, your safety measures are also very casual. You too, Matthew muttered. Robin is still worried. Adam's mouth twitched, speechless. He couldn't say that Robin must be fine because she couldn't have children. But he was not surprised that Matthew knew about this, because Lily is not only a big mouth, but also talks to Matthew about everything, except for this time about their future choices. Lily and Matthew really talk about everything. Have you ever seen a couple who have been in love for almost 8 years, living together, and talking on the phone almost every day during lunch? They are not bored, but anyone who knows about it is almost bored to death. Go on. Matthew smiled. Anyway, she feels that she shouldn't let her talent go to waste. She thinks that if she works a little harder, she will succeed, so she wants to try again before getting married. Adam glanced at Matthew and said, so I asked her to draw a picture with the theme of your wedding, and asked her to draw a picture that best represents her talent in the most sincere state. Then I took her to find a great painter and asked him to take a look at her to determine whether she really has such a high talent. The result is obvious that she doesn't. She is only suitable for painting as a hobby, not as a career. So that's how it is, Matthew suddenly realized, and then smiled bitterly. After all, she is still hesitant about our marriage. You can't blame her entirely for this. Adam naturally tried his best to eliminate the gap between the two, and teased, when you first met in college, she told you about her dreams, and even broke up with her high school boyfriend for this. You supported her all the time at the time. Why? Do you want to put on your pants and deny it now? No, Matthew smiled bitterly. I just don't know how I can support her. Give up our wedding? Of course not. Adam smiled and said, she already knows that she has no talent. She is just upset for a while. You just need to be more tolerant of her during this period. There is still more than a month before your wedding. I believe she will recover. I hope so, Matthew said helplessly. After returning, Matthew listened to Adam's advice after learning the whole story and was tolerant of Lily's mood. Don't want to be a kindergarten teacher? It doesn't matter, you can do whatever you want. Lily was very touched by her fiancé's thoughtfulness and tolerance, and she was refreshed all of a sudden. Although she could no longer be a professional artist, she still had a lot of things she wanted to do, and the thought of quitting her job to pursue these still exciting things filled her with energy. In the next 2 weeks, she first became a life coach, because she has always been the main person for her friends to confide in, and she often gives her friends guidance and support. So she thinks she can be a professional coach. After a few days, she got bored. For her friends, she was out of love, but for strangers, she took money and immediately changed her nature. Without the support of love, it is difficult for normal people to persist in being an emotional trash can. Fortunately, Matthew still supports her. She has other career options that make her passionate. So, she wants to be a marine biologist again. Well, she doesn't have that degree. She just went to the aquarium to be a tour guide. Dreams are full, and reality is skinny. Obviously, she gave up on this kind of thing after a few days. Then there was the performance poet, the beekeeper, medical center. Lily, you. Adam looked at Lily, who was in a mess with red spots all over her arms and face, and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I don't want to be a beekeeper anymore, Lily cried. Compared with the previous dream careers that were just not suitable for her mentally, this time, Lily's body couldn't adapt to the dream career. Adam, treat Lily quickly. Matthew on the side felt distressed. Don't worry, Adam checked and comforted her. It's nothing serious. Chapter 632 Goodbye Robin Medical Center. Ouch. It hurts. Lily grimaced and cried out in pain as Adam wiped the wound from the sting. Adam, be gentle. Matthew, as her fiancé, was so distressed that he kept telling Adam, wishing he could push Adam away and do it himself. Don't pretend, Lily, Adam complained. It doesn't hurt that much. Don't lie to Matthew just to enjoy his distressed expression. Lily? Matthew looked at Lily in disbelief. I'm sorry. Lily looked at Matthew with seductive eyes. Okay, I forgive you. Matthew looked at Lily and saw that there was no more melancholy and distraction in her eyes. It was as if they had returned to the time when they first met. They knew that they were both greedy for each other's body through their eyes. That kind of throbbing is back. It's great. Okay, wait until I'm done wiping and prescribing some medicine for you. Then you can go back. Adam also saw this flirting, and was very happy for them, but he still complained with a look of disdain. When the time comes, as long as you don't touch the wound, you can do whatever you want, just don't show off your love here. Hee. Matthew laughed. What are you talking about? Lily exaggeratedly expressed her reserve and shyness as a girl, but unfortunately, she is Lily. This performance is too fake. Matthew, it seems that you still have to thank these bees. Adam saw that after Lily's ideals hit the wall again and again, she finally realized that it is better to grasp the person in front of her and completely let go of those unrealistic dreams, and couldn't help but sigh. We should. Matthew also sighed a little. Some time ago, facing the hesitation and restlessness of his lover, he was worried and sad. Now the clouds have finally cleared and the moon is bright. He is indeed very grateful to these bees, because if they hadn't hit Lily hard in time, God knows when Lily would wake up. You know, their wedding is only 1 month away. Everything is ready. The invitations have been sent out long ago, and relatives and friends have coordinated their work and taken leave a few months ago, just to fly over to attend their wedding. If it can't be held in time, it will make Lily have a bad impression among his relatives and friends. That's right. At this time, what he is most worried about is the impact on Lily's image. He wants to make Lily as perfect as possible in the eyes of his relatives and friends, because only when Lily is as perfect as possible in the eyes of her relatives and friends can Lily get along better with her relatives and friends and truly integrate into the Erickson family. A harmonious family is the key to success. Come on, Adam, Lily said dissatisfiedly. They stung me like this, and we still have to thank them? Why not? Adam smiled and said, there is a novel called The Return of the Condor Heroes in the East. The love between the hero and heroine in it is thanks to these bees. What? Lily immediately became interested and asked Adam about the story. While wiping Lily's wound, Adam briefly told the couple the story of the return of the Condor Heroes. Look, the heroine has had a deep bond with bees since she was a child. 16 years later, she reunited with the hero by embroidering words on the wings of bees. Shouldn't they be grateful to the bees? Wow, what a beautiful love. Lily's eyes immediately became magical when she heard it. She raised her hand and looked at the red dot on her hand. She no longer felt pain or ugliness, but instead felt that it was a beautiful blessing. Don't think about it. Adam took a look and immediately guessed Lily's thoughts. He interrupted her quickly. The Return of the Condor Heroes is a legendary world with mysterious powers. The heroine has been raising bees since she was a child, so she has that wonderful fate. Don't think about it, otherwise you will be stung again in the future. Besides, do you want to be separated from Matthew for 16 years? No, no, Matthew and Lily shouted in unison. So that's why. Adam smiled and said, they got married because they embroidered the words goodbye on the wings of bees. And you got married because Lily was stung by a bee and she came to her senses. You are both different and wonderful in your own way. Don't envy anyone else." "That's right." Matthew grabbed Lily's hand. "Yeah." Lily looked back affectionately. "I want to tell this story at the wedding. It will be very beautiful." At this point, she looked at Adam. "By the way, what is the name of this story? I'll buy it and read it." "I want to read it too," Matthew agreed. "I'm also interested in this relationship." Adam paused, not knowing what to say. The story of the return of the Condor heroes is indeed very romantic. It would be better if there was no Dragon Knight. I don't know if Matthew can accept this. He remembered that when Guanggu Shenki was spoiled by Lin Wanyu, he was also in pain. Although Matthew is a very open-minded American, his view of love is still inclined to the Eastern ideal of a couple for life, and he probably can't accept this, because Adam remembered that Matthew was a super jealous person. Like the first love couples in the East Country, they cared a lot about giving each other their first time. Matthew used to say this very proudly and very confidently. But when Robin's sister Kelly came over, Matthew and Lily took Kelly to visit New York together, and they discussed this issue. Then Matthew found that Lily's definition in some aspects was different from his. For a time, the two of them had a very unhappy quarrel. This was unbearable, not to mention the part about the dragon rider. "What's wrong?" Matthew and Lily looked at Adam curiously. "Nothing." Adam's mind was racing. He didn't want to upset them when they were about to get married. He covered up and said, "That's a novel from the East Country. It's not translated. You can't understand it. If you want to know, go to the bar tonight and I'll tell you in detail." When he translates it, just delete this heartwarming plot. "That's fine." Matthew and Lily heard it. Naturally no objection. There is no way. They can't understand the East Country language. They are not Howard, and they are Sheldon. Even Howard and Sheldon spoke poorly. If converted into professional level, it was the kind of dumb Chinese that hadn't even passed the level 4 exam. OMG. Lily. At this time, a familiar exclamation sounded. "Robin." Lily smiled at the person who came, and then couldn't help but glanced at Adam beside her. "Robin." Adam also looked at the person who came, smiling awkwardly. "Lily, what's wrong with you?" The person who came was Robin. She didn't even look at Adam, but just stared at Lily's wounds and blamed her. "You are not still trying those weird dreams, are you?" "Yes, but this is the last time, and you don't know. Although I was stung once, I am very happy." Lily pulled Robin and started chattering. When they talked about the happy part, they giggled. Matthew winked at Adam. Adam grinned, and continued to wipe Lily's wounds in silence. Chapter 633 Robin. Goodbye. Medical Center. Lily and Robin were chatting animatedly. Ding-ling-ling. Soon Robin's phone rang. "I'll be there right away." Robin answered the call and said goodbye to Lily and Matthew. "Why are you still standing there? Hurry up and follow." Lily pushed Adam. Adam smiled and chased after her. "Robin." Adam called her. "What for?" Robin stopped and looked at him coldly. "Nothing. I just heard from Lily that you got a promotion and I haven't congratulated you yet." Adam smiled. "That's it?" Robin sneered. "And for what happened last time, I apologize again." Adam apologized. "I really didn't mean it." "You have every reason to be angry with me." "I don't have time to be angry with you. I'm so busy and will be sent abroad soon. Maybe I won't see you again in the future." Robin said coldly. "Congratulations. That's what you want, right?" Adam smiled. "Of course." Robin raised his head and said, "As a reporter, I can go anywhere in the world. This kind of freedom and happiness is beyond your imagination. Be careful when you go abroad." Adam warned, "Don't go to those remote and deserted places, because there are many perverts there. Be careful in big cities, too. Don't let your guard down just because you are famous, because there are many evil forces there, such as Paris." Robin looked at Adam talking about precautions. Her eyes turned red, and she suddenly rushed over, hugged Adam's neck, and then bit Adam's neck hard. Hiss. Adam took a breath, but did not push Robin away. Although he did not mean to do it last time, he did go too far. He could fully imagine how scared Robin was these days. It was right for her to bite him to vent his anger. "My sudden promotion was caused by you, right?" Robin bit Adam hard and then let go. Unlike a vampire, She didn't bite him like a vampire. She continued to hug Adam and said bitterly in his ear, "You are such a bastard that makes people love and hate you." "Sorry." Adam felt Robin's mood change and felt relieved. He smiled and said, "I am indeed a bastard." Robin hugged Adam for a while, then pushed Adam away and strode forward. When she walked to the side of the road, she waved for a taxi. Before getting in the taxi, she looked at Adam, who was standing here and looking at her, and shouted, "Adam, you bastard. I just hope that the person who made you develop a habit will get pregnant with your child immediately, preferably a daughter, and then you will become a daughter slave, and you will be worried that your daughter will run into a bastard like you." After that, she held the door of the taxi with her left hand, stretched out her right hand, and gestured a middle finger to Adam. Adam smiled and stretched out his right hand, making an OK gesture. Then Robin smiled, leaned forward and sat in the taxi. Through the car window, he turned his head and kept looking at Adam, and disappeared in the traffic in the distance. "Ah!" Adam sighed, touched the bite mark on his neck, and walked into the hospital building. "How is it? How is it?" Lily looked over at Adam as soon as she saw him coming in. "What do you mean?" Adam laughed. "Wow, she bit you." Lily was sharp-eyed and saw the bite mark on Adam's neck at once. She shouted excitedly, "Are you reconciled?" "Sort of." Adam pulled his collar to cover the bite mark as much as possible. Fortunately, Robin's bite was not deep, and Adam's super endurance brought super recovery ability. It won't take long for the bite mark to disappear. Otherwise, Adam would have a hard time explaining it to Peggy and the others. "What do you mean so-so?" Lily said dissatisfiedly. "Don't you know she's leaving New York?" Adam asked. "Of course I know," Lily said nonchalantly. "You forgot. I was the one who told you this news, so I asked you to apologize to her quickly, otherwise you won't know what will happen next time you meet. I guess it will be difficult." Adam nodded. "Are you saying that Robin will not come back in the future?" Matthew, who was a bystander, understood. "What?" Lily was stunned. "What do you mean Robin is not going back to New York? Isn't she just going abroad to do reporting for a while?" "That's right," Adam sighed, "but with her talent and hard work, as long as she is given a chance, she will immediately soar to the sky. From then on, she will appear in most parts of the world. This is her dream, isn't it?" "Her dream," Lily muttered to herself, and then a light bulb went off in her head, and she understood something. She reached out and slapped Adam. "You are such a bastard. You gave her this opportunity, didn't you? You let Robin go." "Is this your way of apology?" "Then what else can I do?" Adam spread his hands. "Is there a better way to apologize than this?" "You are so ruthless," Lily said hatefully. "If I were you, I would definitely not choose this way of apology. I would keep her. No matter how good the dream is, it is not as important as love." "This is what you told me." "That's you," Adam joked. "That's what you did to Robin. I can't compare to you." Seeing Lily and Matthew staring at each other, Adam stopped and waved his hand. "Okay, sorry, what I said was a dream that was not firm enough and could not compare to love." "Can Robin's pursuit of her career be the same as your pursuit of your dream?" "Don't glare at me this time. Think about it yourself." For her dream, she gave up her status as a singer, left her hometown, and came to a foreign country alone to work hard for several years. During this process, she never cared about love or not, and only thought about her career and her pursuit. For this reason, she directly gave up Ted, the good man who wanted to get married in her eyes, and would rather be with a prodigal like me, because in her eyes, if the career is not successful, how can there be a family? She is a real dreamer. "And you? As soon as you entered college and got together with Matthew, you immediately forgot your dream. You should know that you just used this dream as an excuse to break up with your high school boyfriend. 8 years later, you and Matthew are going to get married, and you think of your dream again, and then you find that you have no talent. After giving up, there are many secondary dreams as a foil. However, none of them can last for a few days. Is your dream really a dream? Maybe it is really just a dream in the literal sense, but this is completely different from the dream that Robin has been pursuing so hard. For you, true love is definitely more important than an illusory, momentary dream. But for Robin, between love and career, she will always choose career. Not to mention that we are not in love. Believe me, She knows all this, but she still chose to accept it with a smile without hesitation. But she just left like that? Lily said sadly. Yes, she left. Adam nodded. Who left? At this time, Ted came over and asked curiously. Robin. Lily said the matter sadly. Oh. Ted was stunned for a moment, and then he recovered quickly. Any sincere and strong feelings are the cumulative investment effect of time and experience. Without the subsequent developments, without repeated pursuits, his love at first sight for Robin, the hormonal effect, did not last long at all, and naturally would not develop into the obsession of the original time and space. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 634. Ted's perfect type appears at the medical center. Ted, how are you doing lately? Adam glanced at him and asked with a smile. Well. Ted met Adam's eyes and began to speak. Adam, I was just about to tell you that Erica and I broke up. I'm sorry. Oh. Adam nodded. Did we break up over the phone, or over text messages or emails? Ted was immediately embarrassed and said, No, this time Erica and I broke up face to face and peacefully, not like you imagined. You. Lily looked at Ted with a look of regret, because Adam talked about all the bad things Ted had done in a few words. It doesn't matter. Adam smiled and said, I know Erica's birthday hasn't come yet. Since you broke up, it's natural that there won't be embarrassing things like you suddenly calling her at the birthday party. That's enough. That's enough? Lily looked at Adam in disbelief. I remember Erica is the biological sister of your beloved girlfriend Peggy, right? They were introduced by you. Is this the only requirement you have for Ted? Of course not the only requirement. Adam shook his head. I told you. Lily breathed a sigh of relief and turned her gaze to the embarrassed Ted, ready to criticize Ted together with Adam. In her opinion, Erica was beautiful and had a good personality. She could tolerate domestic violence from her artistic ex-boyfriend and had no temper, and Adam introduced her to him. So how could Ted just break up with her? Is Erica sad? Adam looked at Ted seriously. No, Ted said quickly. In fact, we are separated, and the breakup is a joint decision after we discussed it. Okay. Adam stared at Ted for a while, then nodded. Okay. Lily looked at Adam with wide eyes. No. What else do you want? Adam shrugged and said, Ted didn't do anything too much, and didn't make Erica very sad. This is a normal and peaceful breakup. He introduced Ted to Erica just to divert Erica's attention and prevent him from affecting Adam's work on dealing with her artistic ex-boyfriend. Just kidding. If he wanted to make a move on Peggy, how could Adam let him go easily? At this time, the bastard had been reported by enthusiastic citizens for the West Poison fan poison and was sent to prison. There were so many bastards around him. If he had no background, he would be in prison for life. Adam believed that as long as his people were always paying attention, the world would still be fair enough. However, Adam still made a mistake, because he had to keep it secret and not let him associate with himself. He did not put a soap bag on his wrist, the kind that would not slip when taking a shower. American TV series World Prison Special Supplies. Users who have one will smile confidently. Now Erica has long forgotten the bastard, and the two-man Ted has excellently completed his task as a romantic little prince. In the end, they broke up peacefully. What else is Adam dissatisfied with? Thank you for your understanding, Adam. Ted looked at the tolerant Adam with gratitude. If he were Adam, he would probably not be as generous as Adam, and at least he would complain a few words. You're welcome. Adam accepted Ted's gratitude calmly. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. At this time, Ted's phone rang. Who is it? Lily said unhappily. Isn't it Barney who wants to celebrate your singlehood again? No. Ted took the phone and looked at the number displayed on the phone, and said in surprise, it seems to be the number of the singles terminal. Singles terminal? Lily's eyes widened. The one who said a few months ago that you would never find true love and would end up alone? Yes. It's the singles terminal that almost collapsed because I broke the 100% success record. Ted complained. In the end, I comforted her with the love of cockroaches and rats that you found, and asked her to continue to help me find it, for free. Did she find it? Adam also became interested. Ted, answer it quickly, answer it quickly, Lily and Matthew urged. Okay. Ted also thought of this, took a deep breath, pursed his lips, and answered the phone. Hello, hello, I'm looking for Mr. Ted Mosby. A middle-aged man's voice came from the other end of the phone. That's me. Ted replied. Mr. Mosby, hello, how are you doing recently? The man on the other end of the phone said, I'm Bell Duncan from Singles Terminal. Holy shit! Adam and Lily shouted in unison when they heard the name and the familiar voice. Baby, what's wrong? Matthew looked at Lily in surprise. Nothing. Lily covered her mouth and shook her head guiltily. Wait, Duncan? Matthew was a little confused, but his attention quickly shifted to Adam. Hee. Adam smiled awkwardly, holding his forehead. I'll talk later. You know him too? Lily looked at Adam with a devilish look, and started a conversation with her eyes. Of course I know him. You know him too? Adam also looked at Lily in surprise. What is the relationship between this person and you? Matthew interrupted with an unhappy look. Over there. Mr. Mosby, did you apply for service at the Singles Terminal 4 months ago? Yes. Ted smiled and said, you haven't helped me find what I want. Yes, that's why I called. On the other end, Bell Duncan said, we found her, sir. We found your soulmate. What? Ted was stunned. Please come as soon as possible, Bell Duncan reminded on the other end of the phone. Okay. Ted hung up the phone in a daze. They said they helped me find my soulmate. No way. Really? Adam and Lily responded perfunctorily. Don't talk about these nonsense. What's wrong with you? Matthew said madly. You all know the person who called Ted? What? Ted couldn't help but look over. Adam, you go first. Matthew saw Lily's eyes evading and looked at Adam. His last name is Duncan. What do you think? Adam smiled bitterly. He is your relative? Ted was surprised. Come on, I'll go with you to have a look. Adam smiled bitterly. I haven't seen Uncle Bell for a long time. I didn't expect him to come to New York. Uncle Bell? Lily and the other two shouted in unison. Bell Duncan, my father Bob Duncan's brother, my uncle. Adam grinned. But I didn't expect that you, Lily, actually knew my Uncle Bell. This, Lily blushed and hesitated to say. Lily? Matthew was really a little angry. Don't be angry, baby. Lily hurriedly hugged Matthew and had to say, do you remember Scoot? Of course I remember Scoot. Matthew gritted his teeth and said, what does this have to do with your high school ex-boyfriend? Remember when we first met, I broke up with Scoot for my dream? Lily smiled bitterly. I said I didn't want to accept the life he had tailored for me. Matthew's face darkened. That was literally a life tailor-made for me, Lily said embarrassedly. When I graduated, Scoot not only prepared a diamond ring in advance to propose to me, but also went to Chicago to find my favorite designer at the time to customize a set for me. When he and his friends drove over to find a designer, they met Big Bear. Big Bear? Matthew and Ted looked at Adam. My Uncle Bell's nickname. Adam's mouth twitched. I didn't accept Scoot's proposal, no matter how well he prepared, because I didn't love him. Lily looked at Matthew affectionately. I only love you, Matthew. I love you too, baby. Matthew's mood improved. I rejected Scoot's proposal that time. Lily shrugged and said, but Scoot and Big Bear became good friends. P.S. Thanks to the bookworm Redstone for the reward. The new boss of the Single Terminal in Looking for Mom is the same actor as Adam's father Bob. He and Lily's actor have also starred in American Pie 3 together, so the connection is expanded. Chapter 635. No coincidences. The Terminal for Singles. Everyone finally decided to come together. Come in. You must be Mr. Ted Mosby. PJ, why are you here? In the office, a man who looked exactly like Adam's father Bob stood up and talked to Ted. When he saw Adam, he went straight over and gave Adam a warm hug. Uncle Bell, I've been called Adam for a long time. Adam reminded helplessly. Why change your name? After Bell Duncan let go of Adam, he said dissatisfiedly, this is the name your grandfather gave you. PJ is so nice. Isn't Adam nice? This is the son of God. Adam complained. Haha. Bell Duncan laughed, and when his eyes swept over Matthew and Lily, he was surprised again. Lily? Big Bear. Lily greeted helplessly. Are you friends with Adam? Belle Duncan's eyes widened. What a coincidence. It's just a coincidence. Lily smiled bitterly. Adam, Ted, and I are all good friends. This is my fiancé Matthew. Are you engaged? Belle looked at Matthew carefully and nodded. Not bad. Not bad. Much more mature and stable than Scoot. Matthew smiled. Uncle Belle, weren't you in Chicago before? Adam asked curiously. When did you come to New York? And you started working as a matchmaker at Singles Terminal? Yes. Where did Ellen Pierce go? Ted finally interrupted at this time. Isn't this her company? Just these 2 days. Belle asked everyone to sit down and complained. Our company acquired Singles Terminal. Although we are a company engaged in meat and textiles, the geniuses on the company's board of directors think that the business scope should be diversified. So I was sent here. Is that so? Adam smiled knowingly. This is a common problem for many large companies. After reaching a bottleneck, they always want to be as big and comprehensive as possible, and start to get involved in all kinds of business, hoping that one company can monopolize the entire society. At that time, the board members of their company will be the bosses of the entire society and can do whatever they want. Even Batman is like this. Batman Bruce Wayne's family industry almost monopolizes everything in Gotham City. Not satisfied with this, Bruce Wayne became Batman Dark Knight again, controlling the dark side of Gotham City and trying to take over both Black and White. In Arkham Mental Hospital, no one knows how many opponents of the Wayne family were thrown in and driven crazy and mentally ill. Batman's words, "My Gotham," are not just a casual remark. Belle Duncan's company has obviously taken the first step. Belle mocked the idea of his company's board members as genius, but maybe it is really a genius plan if it succeeds. Have you found Ted's soulmate? Lily got through the awkward period and asked curiously. Yes. Belle took out a document and handed it to Ted. That's her. Your perfect type. Lily immediately reached out to take it. Let me make it clear. $500. Belle glanced at Adam. Uncle and nephew have to settle accounts clearly. I'm just an employee. Understand? Adam nodded. I don't want it. Seeing this, Ted waved his hand and said, the last time you matched me was also perfect, but she was married. Not this time. Belle promoted. You can take a look at the document first. I guarantee you will be satisfied. Take a look. Adam smiled and said, if you are not satisfied, I will pay for it. Let me take a look first. Wow, she is so beautiful. Lily immediately grabbed the document, and Matthew also came over, and the two began to read. She likes dogs. She spent the whole summer in Northern California. She plays bass guitar. She likes to do crossword puzzles, and she likes to watch old movies. OMG, Ted, this is your perfect type. Matthew couldn't help shouting. As a best friend since college, he was too familiar with what Ted's perfect type was like. Ted's eyes also sparkled. Don't worry. There's more. There's more. Lily shouted. Her favorite food is lasagna. She plays tennis. Her favorite book is Love in the Time of Cholera. And she wants 2 children. A boy and a girl. A boy and a girl. Matthew waved his hands and shouted. Okay, help me arrange it. Ted couldn't help it when he heard this, and he stood up excitedly, took out his credit card directly, and looked at Belle. Can I use a credit card? Having both sons and daughters is his biggest expectation for his other half. Of course. Belle took out the POS machine. The computer automatically matched it, and $500 was in hand. The profit here was simply explosive. At this moment, watching Ted really swipe the card, Belle felt that the decision of the company's board of directors was not so outrageous. The money of older young people in New York is too easy to make, isn't it? When Ted swiped the card successfully, Belle smiled and said, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. The location is Old Friend Bar. Adam reminded quickly. Old Friend Bar. Belle was surprised. That's my bar. It's a good opportunity for us to see what Ted's perfect type is like. Adam smiled and said, Uncle, you can go there often. You even opened a bar. Belle sighed. You are indeed the pride of our Duncan family. I'm old, and I'm past the age of being cool and carefree. I can see that you are different from before, Uncle. Adam smiled. Belle used to wear leather jackets and leather pants, necklaces and earrings, and danced very sexy. In this respect, he is actually very similar to Adam's father Bob. That's right, Adam's father Bob can also dance. Not only did he practice ballet in the past, he is also good at square dancing. When he dances, it's really. Adam once wondered why his mother liked his father, but thinking about it, it's not surprising, because Adam's mother Amy especially likes to show off. She wanted to debut as a star at the beginning, and she can do all kinds of dance moves at will. As a son and a family member, Adam often puts on the classic "Rukang don't go" expression to stop his parents from showing off their dance moves in front of him. Okay, the location is set at the old friend bar, I'll let her know. Belle smiled and said, "The time is 8 o'clock tomorrow night, don't be late." "Don't worry, we won't let him be late." Matthew and Lily were very excited. As Ted's best friends, they also worried about Ted. Now that they saw a woman who matched Ted so well, they were more excited than Ted. "I won't be late," Ted couldn't help but say. In fact, he couldn't wait to see the other person right now. However, in order to be in a more perfect state, he decided to be patient and not go to work tomorrow afternoon. He would go get a haircut, change clothes, arrive early, and definitely not be late. Fortunately, he is now the project leader and has a lot of free time. "Ted, take a look. Your perfect type is really beautiful." Lily handed the file to Ted. Ted took a deep breath and took a look. It was indeed a photo of a very beautiful woman. He couldn't help but say her name, Anna Taylor. Chapter 636. Barney is not allowed to enter. The next day, night, old friend bar. Ted looks very nervous. Matthew, Lily and Adam sat together, watching Ted sitting alone waiting and looking at his watch from a distance. "I hope he won't say I love you tonight," Adam teased. "I hope so." Lily and Matthew smiled helplessly. Otherwise, if this perfectionist is scared by this sentence and thinks Ted is a frivolous person and leaves directly, it will be a pity. "Isn't Ted?" Adam joked. "Okay, don't tease him," Lily advised. "By the way, Adam, take this opportunity to tell us the story of the bee lovers." Adam's mouth twitched. "Fuck bee lovers, it's the Condor heroes." "It's the same, tell it quickly, tell it quickly," Lily urged. "Okay." Adam had promised them before, so he would not break his promise, and began to tell them the revised version of the Condor heroes story. The romantic taboos and legends in it made Matthew and Lily exclaim again and again. Time soon came to 8 o'clock in the evening. Ted's perfect type finally walked in on high heels. "Here she is." Adam noticed it at the first time, took a look, and found that she was indeed very beautiful and elegant. He quickly stopped the novel and reminded Matthew and Lily. "Wow, she is younger and more beautiful than in the photo," Lily exclaimed. Ted is moved. Matthew did not forget to pay attention to his good brother's reaction, and keenly noticed Ted's heartbeat. "Of course I am moved," Lily couldn't help but said. "Even I can't help being moved when I see it." "Ahem," Adam said helplessly. "Lily, can you be more reserved? I know Matthew doesn't care about this, and I also know that you don't really want to do lesbian, but don't be too unscrupulous." "Sorry," Lily smiled embarrassedly. "I can't help it, I will try my best." They started chatting. Matthew reminded, "Alas, I can't hear their conversation." Lily looked over there and complained, "I told you that I should sit next to them so that I could participate better, but you wouldn't let me." "Please," Adam complained, "you're so noisy here. If you really sit next to them, do you think Anna Taylor won't notice you? Is it you who's on a blind date or Ted?" "But I want to hear what they're talking about," Lily said anxiously. "Why don't you just ask me?" Adam smiled. "Lip reading isn't a difficult skill." "Then read it quickly," Lily urged. "They're just chatting." Adam looked at their lip reading from a distance and said, "Ted is using their common interests to please Anna. TSK, he's really as humble as a dog." "It's very effective, isn't it?" Matthew disagreed. "Indeed." Adam looked at Ted and Anna, who couldn't stop laughing, and nodded. The matching method of the singles terminal also makes sense. If there are enough matching interests and hobbies, even if you can't become a couple, you can still be a good friend. Just like Howard and Amy in The Big Bang Theory, they had never talked to each other alone before. During the treasure hunt game, it was really awkward in the early stage of teaming up. In the end, it was not because of Neil Diamond, the singer they both liked, that the awkwardness was eliminated. The two sang their idol songs while driving, and even stopped playing the treasure hunt game in the end. They started singing in public in a bar, and they were so happy. This is the Big Bang Theory. Otherwise, if it were any other American TV series, Adam suspected that Howard and Amy would definitely have sparked all the way. To be honest, when Adam saw this in his previous life, he was really worried about Sheldon, fearing that the screenwriter would be stupid for a while and come up with something bloody. Don't say it's impossible. You know, if Howard hadn't met Bernadette, he could do anything. He repeatedly harassed Penny in front of Leonard. He even put a pinhole camera in Penny's home. When he was emotional, would he reject Amy? And Amy, when she was on a business trip with Bernadette, also revealed that she actually had feelings for Howard. No other reason. Sheldon is too passive. He doesn't even want to be passive. And Howard is too coquettish. It's normal for her, whose hormones have always been unbalanced, to like this kind of coquettishness. Of course, Bernadette also likes the handsome and cute Sheldon in her heart and wants to teach him a few tricks. Each has its own advantages. People are pursuing perfection. It's normal. Fortunately, this is the Big Bang Theory. After exposing each other's momentary fantasies, Amy and Bernadette decisively ended the topic and chose to forget it. Otherwise, all kinds of permutations and combinations of dog blood will definitely follow. Adam read the lip language and suddenly said in surprise, "What's wrong?" Lily asked immediately. "Anna is actually an elementary school teacher in the town." Adam was surprised. "Monica's family is in this town." Elementary school teacher. When Lily heard this, she looked at Anna with a more devilish look. "Hello, elementary school teacher." She is also a teacher, and a kindergarten teacher. Now, she will definitely be able to chat with Anna. After Robin left, the best friend's seat was vacant, and Lily felt that someone had chosen it. "It's really good." Matthew also nodded. He married a kindergarten teacher, and his good brother Ted will marry an elementary school teacher in due course. In the future, their children, at least kindergarten and elementary school, don't have to worry about. "Oh, no," Lily suddenly said. "Matthew, look." "Damn." Matthew then also sighed badly. "It's Barney. He must have learned that Ted met the perfect model here, and ran over to make trouble." Outside the glass window of the bar, Barney's figure stood there, looking at Ted and Anna laughing and talking, tightening his tie, showing a classic Barney Stinson smile, and walked towards the door of the bar. "Don't worry," Adam smiled. "He can't make trouble." "What are you going to do?" Lily thought of something and looked at Adam worriedly. "I won't do anything," Adam smiled. Matthew and Lily stared at the door, but saw Barney with a wicked smile on his face, walked to the door, stretched out his hand and began to push the door. Then, he was stopped by a tall and strong security guard. Barney said a few words in dissatisfaction, then took out money from his pocket, from $20 to $50, and finally $100. Unfortunately, Franklin, who had always been successful, failed. The tall and strong security guard was completely unmoved, and directly grabbed Barney's neck and threw him out when he tried to force his way in. "Ah, how could this happen?" Lily exclaimed. "This is totally unreasonable." In various occasions where you need connections to enter, those security guards will actually secretly collect money to let people in. Even selling beauty is fine. Lily once skillfully lifted her top in public, and then got the security guard's consent to directly cut in line. This is similar to Penny's thin and transparent slut top that allows her to drink for free. "You put Barney on the blacklist, didn't you?" Matthew guessed the reason. "There is only one reason why the security guard doesn't take money. He can't take it, and he will definitely be fired if he does. The old friend bar is open for business, so it is impossible to stop people from coming in." Now that they have resolutely stopped Barney, it is obvious that Barney is on the bar's blacklist. "Do you think I did something wrong?" Adam said with a smile. "Although it is not good, but it is really well done this time," Lily said with a smile. "Barney's arrival will definitely disrupt Ted and Anna's date, because he hates Ted's search for a perfect soulmate the most. He hopes that Ted will be single forever and team up with him forever to dominate the New York love scene together." Chapter 637. The worst time a surgeon was blackened. The date was a success. Ted's $500 was well worth it. If he wasn't too lazy to go to the singles terminal again, Ted would have wanted to give Belle Duncan a tip. Anna Taylor is absolutely his perfect type. The future Mrs. Mosby, no doubt. He told Adam and the others that when he and Anna get married, Belle will be invited. He seemed to have forgotten the girl who played La Vie and Rose in the rain outside the hospital. That's right, there is no such thing as true love that belongs to you. It's just meeting the right person at the right time and place in life. There are not many such people among billions of people, but there will not be only one. Adam didn't tease Ted this time, mainly because he didn't want to remind him. It's also good to let girls like that disappear from their world. Of course, there are still many scumbags in this world, but no matter how scumbag they are not as good as the Ted and Barney duo, who are still very playful. I just hope that Barney will not suddenly fall in love with this Anna Taylor, and then suggest to Ted again that Anna should be with him before she turns 40 and with Ted after she turns 40. That's right, Barney's true love also abides by the basic law. There is only true love for young and beautiful women. When true love gets older, over 40, and the skin and other things are seriously loose, then true love will die in Barney's eyes. At that time, Ted can take over and play Ted's emotional true love. This is the dream hidden in Barney's heart. The good girl who played the piano in the rain to mourn her deceased boyfriend should stay away from such Ted and Barney. Of course, there is Adam. The next day, medical center. Good morning, Dr. Shept. Adam met Dr. Montgomery outside the building and greeted him with a smile. It's Dr. Montgomery. Dr. Montgomery forced a smile and said, Adam, don't call me the wrong person. I have divorced Derek. Really divorced? Adam was surprised. The last time Dr. Montgomery washed Meredith's underwear and pinned it in front of the surgical bulletin board, it had already foreshadowed that she knew that her husband Dr. Shept and Meredith had cheated on her. But in Adam's opinion, with her attitude of chasing after her husband from Boston to New York, she should not give up her husband no matter what. What did John Chang say in the TV series Anne's Family? I just made a mistake that all men in the world would make, but I'm a woman. If it doesn't work, you can find someone outside. I cheated on you once, and you cheated on me once, so we're even. Before Dr. Montgomery came, it didn't count. This time, the couple had obviously reconciled, and Dr. Shept had an affair with Meredith. Only in Dr. Montgomery's eyes did he really cheat on her. And then, there was nothing else. When Dr. Shept had to divorce her, she said, even if I'm Satan, even if I cheated on you, I could still be your true love. Think about it. How domineering. But Satan couldn't beat the Hulk after all. Divorce. Dr. Montgomery left the sentence and went to the hospital, heroic and proud. She is excellent. It's not that no one wants her. She wants to live her wonderful life. Yesterday, there was another family member who came to accompany his wife to give birth. He ignored his wife's pain and kept chatting with her, praising her for being very much like a big star. At lunchtime, he even found her in the cafeteria and praised her for the whole afternoon. Dr. Montgomery. Adam called her. What's wrong? Dr. Montgomery looked at Adam puzzled. Your neck. Adam pointed to the neck where Robin bit him last time and reminded him, there is a red mark. You'd better cover it up. Thank you. Dr. Montgomery's face froze, and he smiled awkwardly at Adam, then pulled his collar to cover the obvious marks of strawberries, and hurried away. The family member of the pregnant woman gave her enough confidence at the time. So much so that when she went to work yesterday afternoon, she deliberately dressed up in the style of the big star, hoping to get more compliments. It's a pity that the family member's wife has already given birth to a child, and the family is happy. The man who ignored his wife's pain and only chatted with her and praised her before, only had the child in his eyes. How could he take the time to look at her? This made her very disappointed. Then she couldn't help it and contacted the family carer Mark Sloan and asked him to fly over overnight. After the first round, her husband suddenly came to her and apologized to her, saying that he was very sorry and that he was very sad. Then when Mark, wrapped in a bath towel, walked out of the hotel bathroom, her husband smiled, took the champagne in her hand, drank a sip, said something, and left. I feel much better. She knew that their marriage was completely over. At that time, she signed the divorce agreement directly. City knows how to play. Adam looked at Dr. Montgomery's back and laughed dumbly. His endurance made the marks of Robin's bite disappear long ago and he recovered as before. And the strawberry on Dr. Montgomery's neck, based on his experience, must have been less than 6 hours. This is probably not the divorce breakup between her and her husband. Adam gossiped a little, automatically compared the shape of the strawberry in his brain, and confirmed his guess with conclusive evidence. And the truth was accurately found. The originator of the hickey was also in Adam's brain database, a perfect match, and it was planted by Mark Sloan. The scientific name of this planted strawberry is mechanical purpura, and it usually takes 4 to 7 days to disappear. However, with Adam's reminder, Dr. Montgomery, a famous pediatrician, naturally has enough means to quickly eliminate this strawberry to avoid being seen and spread widely. Adam also followed into the hospital. Then he was shown off again. "I dreamed of you last night." "Did you dream of me bringing you coffee?" "Absolutely not. I heard that dates always start with a casual invitation over coffee. I'm casual enough now. How about having dinner with me tonight?" "So we're going on a date?" "Yes. I'll pick you up at 8 o'clock in the evening." In the corridor, Meredith and Dr. Shept were in a commotion. Just when Adam thought that this was already a show, Meredith's operation was even more showy. Finn. Meredith, who was so amused by Dr. Shep's teasing, turned around and saw her veterinarian boyfriend Finn coming up the elevator. "I just happened to be nearby." "Well, I came here just to see you." The veterinarian boyfriend was very gentle. "I dreamed about you last night." Meredith didn't know how to face it for a moment, so she could only tell the truth. Poof! Adam's coffee sprayed out at that moment. At the same time, Christina, who was following Meredith, did the same thing. "What am I doing?" Finn asked happily. "Ahem. Yes. Meredith, what is he doing?" Christina asked what she and Adam were thinking. What is that?" Meredith didn't answer, but rolled her eyes and looked at the paper bag in Finn's hand with a smile on her face. "Coffee cake." Finn handed it to her. "The best taste. Try it. I want to invite you to dinner tonight." "Dinner?" Meredith just smiled foolishly at the gentle and handsome Finn, and didn't react for a while. "Dinner? Tonight? Are you free?" Christina repeatedly winked at her bestie, fearing that she would fail. "Yes, I'm not free tonight." Meredith also reacted. "How about lunch?" Finn was easy to talk to. "Are you willing to eat junk food in the hospital cafeteria for me?" Meredith was touched. "I like to eat junk food, so it's a deal?" Finn looked at Meredith with loving eyes. 1 o'clock. "I'll be there on time." After Finn left, Meredith's mouth was still wide open, with a silly smile on her face. "You dreamed of both of them at the same time?" Christina said in disbelief. "That's what I wanted to ask too." Adam also came over at this time. Meredith didn't say anything, but her expression had already vividly conveyed at least 1,000,000 words of content. If she went to a certain female website, she would definitely be a hit. "Does Finn know?" Adam couldn't help but ask. "He knows." Meredith grinned foolishly. "He said that we hadn't agreed to be in an exclusive relationship before, so even though he was angry, he could understand and wouldn't give up." "So what are you going to do now?" Christina said in disbelief. "Date both of them at the same time? They are both good men, and I really can't make a choice in a short period of time." Meredith grinned foolishly. "So I thought about it. Hey, we are surgeons. Surgeons usually fantasize about crazy and unrealistic operations and make the impossible possible. Why don't I try to date them at the same time first, and then consider making a choice?" Christina was stunned. Adam's mouth twitched, and he complained, "This is definitely the worst time a surgeon has been hacked." Chapter 638, Encounter with a Superpower Girl. Medical Center. Saying goodbye to the upside-down heifer Meredith, Adam went to the emergency room. "Dr. Duncan." The nurse handed a medical record to Adam. "She came 4 times in 3 months, and there seems to be something wrong." Adam looked up and saw that the patient was a cute little girl about 5 or 6 years old, but there was a very scary wound on her calf. "Notify the Child Protection Agency and talk to her parents." Adam gave instructions and walked over with the medical record. "I am Dr. Duncan. I am Megan Cleaver, and the situation is not as bad as it looks." The little girl walked past her parents and spoke directly and skillfully. "She fell in the playground, bled a lot, and the wound is very deep." The mother stroked the girl's head. We know the injury is terrible. She sometimes plays very roughly. The father was a little embarrassed. This is her medical record, including before we got her. Are you adoptive parents? Adam took the more detailed medical record and said casually while reading it. Yes. The mother came over and said sincerely, Megan is a good child, but she played too roughly. We all love her very much. I believe it. Adam looked at them for a few times and nodded. You go to the nurse's station first and give the information to the nurse for copying. I will take a look at Megan's legs first. Okay. Megan's adoptive parents nodded helplessly. They also knew what Adam meant. Baby, we will be back later. Okay. The little girl Megan said goodbye to her adoptive parents very well, and then faced Adam with a somewhat stubborn expression and emphasized, it's not what you think. They are the best parents I have ever met. Don't worry, Adam comforted her knowingly. I believe what you said. This is just a procedure. Don't worry. It's okay. Let me help you suture the wound first. You don't want to leave an ugly scar, right? No. Do you know what I'm worried about? Megan blinked her beautiful big eyes and looked at Adam. Of course. Adam sat down, took the suture equipment brought by the nurse, and while cleaning the wound on Megan's leg, he smiled and said, I have two good friends. One of them adopted a large group of children like you, and the other only adopted one, so I know your thoughts very well. Although both of them have given enough love to these children, but I know that every child wants a complete family and wants a parent who loves them a little more, right? In the orphanage, whenever someone comes to adopt a child, all the children dress up carefully in advance, look eagerly, and then show the brightest and saddest smile, staring closely at the adoptive parents who come in. They are really just children, but they have entered the society 10 or 20 years in advance, and have learned the rules of society without any teacher. Greet people with a smile. Choose me, choose me. Okay. The little girl Megan looked at Adam seriously for a while, then lifted her vigilance and lay back very relaxed. Huh? Adam then noticed that Megan's arm also had a scar. He immediately reached out and pulled open her sleeve, frowning and asking, what's going on? It turned out that there was a 10-centimeter long wound on the inside of her left arm. It was not sutured at all, but was directly stapled shut with 3 staples. I did it myself. Megan shrugged nonchalantly. I don't want to come to the hospital again, so I took care of it myself. It's no big deal. Don't you feel any pain? Adam looked serious. He felt pain just looking at the wound, but the little girl Megan didn't react at all. She just stapled her arm shut with staples. It doesn't hurt at all, Megan said, and then hooked her finger at Adam. Come here. Adam's mouth twitched. Why did this sentence sound so awkward? But he still came over. I'll tell you a secret. I have superpowers. Megan leaned close to Adam's ear and said mysteriously, it won't hurt no matter how I hit you. If you don't believe me, just punch me in the belly. Hit me as much as you want. You really don't feel any pain at all? Adam couldn't hit her, so he confirmed. Not at all, Megan said proudly. The kids in our school didn't believe it at first, but I let them hit me. They kept hitting me 25 times, and they were all out of breath. Even if they used baseball bats, I didn't feel any pain at all. Baseball bat? Adam's eyes narrowed and he pointed at Megan's belly. Hit your belly. Yes. Megan nodded as a matter of course. Adam slightly lifted Megan's clothes and immediately saw serious bruises. I'm going to take you to do a court scan. Adam picked up Megan and walked quickly to the courtroom. The wounds on her legs and arms could wait. He was now seriously worried that Megan's severe abdominal trauma might cause internal bleeding. In the last train derailment, the person who looked fine, called friends and relatives to report his safety, talked and laughed, but was bleeding slowly, died silently in the emergency room. Sorry, I'm cutting in line. When he arrived at the courtroom, Adam said to the doctor and patient who were about to go in, you go first. Dr. Duncan. The doctor was easy to talk to. After Adam went in, he began to comfort the unhappy patient. Courtroom. Sure enough, there is internal bleeding. Adam looked at the display on the scan screen and breathed a sigh of relief. As long as you know it in advance, you won't be afraid. The most frightening thing is that you don't notice it at all. Go notify Megan's parents. Adam instructed the nurse. After a while, Megan's parents arrived. Adam pointed to the court scan screen and said, Megan has internal bleeding and must undergo surgery immediately. I will take care of the wounds on her body during the operation. We really didn't hit her, Megan's parents said helplessly. I believe you, Adam nodded and said. Megan should have congenital analgesia, which is an extremely rare autosomal recessive genetic disease that causes her to not feel any pain when she is injured. OMG, Megan's adoptive mother covered her mouth and said, that's why she plays so roughly and always gets injured. Yes, Adam said, this still needs to be tested for genes later. The most urgent thing now is to give Megan surgery to stop the bleeding. Megan, where are you going? But while he was talking, he saw Megan running outside. Adam immediately caught up with Megan. I don't want to have surgery. Megan struggled and said, it's too expensive. They can't afford it. Don't keep telling my adoptive parents that I have defects. They will send me back. Don't worry. They won't. Adam met her pleading eyes and listened to her pitiful words, and his heart ached. If his diagnosis was correct, and Megan had congenital analgesia, under normal circumstances, she should have been detected when she was very young, but after listening to her words, Adam understood that Megan must have been transferred to many families. No foster family was willing to take her to the hospital seriously. They always sent her back to the orphanage as soon as they found something wrong with her. This led to the failure to diagnose the disease and then take good precautions and protect herself. Woo, baby. Megan's adoptive mother cried and rushed over to hug her daughter after hearing such heart-wrenching words. Mom and Dad will never send you back. You are our daughter. Yes. Megan's adoptive father also came over and hugged his wife and daughter with a distressed look on his face. Don't worry. Dad can afford it. We are a family and will never be separated. Seeing this scene, Adam smiled with relief. There are still good people in this world. Chapter 639 Bald Sheldon, Medical Center. The little girl Megan passed through many families, unconsciously jumping back and forth on the line of death. Finally, before her accidental death, she found a parent who didn't care about her defects and was willing to love her sincerely. In this respect, she was much luckier than most orphans. Operating room. Was it hit with a baseball bat? Seriously? John Carter followed Adam in excitedly, and stood aside, looking around unnaturally. Looking at Megan's serious abdominal injuries, he couldn't believe that someone would be so cruel to beat such a beautiful and lovely little girl with a baseball bat. Who is so cruel? It's normal for a naughty child to hit her without restraint, so someone needs to discipline her, Adam said casually while performing the operation. But this time it was Megan who asked them to beat her, just because she thinks she has superpowers, Carter said speechlessly. No, Adam explained, she wanted to save other girls, those little girls who were bullied by these naughty kids. She wanted to be a superhero and protect the weak, so she bravely rushed up and said to these naughty kids, let go of that girl, hit me if you want. I'm not afraid of being hit. What a lovely little girl. The nurse looked at Megan, who was sleeping like an angel after anesthesia, with her eyes full of love. She is beautiful, cute, and so righteous and brave. Oh my God. In the world of Eastern movies and TV series, this is a spiritual light spurting out from the top of the head, and at a young age, she has a body of horizontally trained bones and muscles, and she will fly to the sky as soon as she has a chance. Those boys are really too naughty. Another nurse was distressed. Even such a cute little sister can be so cruel. Let them have no girlfriend in the future. Adam's mouth curled up. These naughty kids are definitely steel straight men like Dr. Doom from the inside out. If this kind of thing is recorded and followed by them, it is really possible that they will never find a girlfriend in their lifetime. 25 punches. A full-strength hit with a baseball bat. Too cruel. I don't know if they shouted some cheesy lines when they hit her hard with baseball bats. For example, I don't want a girlfriend for the rest of my life. What will happen to her in the future? Carter asked. The operation is just to help her eliminate internal and external injuries. There seems to be no effective treatment for this painless disease, right? Indeed. Adam nodded. This can only rely on self-protection. Everyone hopes to have no physical pain, but if there is really no physical pain, it will be the beginning of mental pain. Without pain as a feedback warning, people are very easy to get hurt, and many times, the injuries are irreversible and serious. At that time, the mental pain will be endless. The operation was simple and successful. Adam did not let Carter sew it up, but sewed the wounds perfectly by himself, including the wounds on Megan's arms and calves, as well as other large and small wounds left in the past. What child doesn't love beauty? Little girls and even little boys are no exception. Their pursuit of beauty is more obvious. In his previous life, Adam often heard relatives and friends talking about their children, saying, "Wow, the children nowadays are amazing. They are so young, but they know who is pretty and who is not." When they see a pretty female teacher, they will surround her. Many of the teachers are female college graduates who have just graduated. They are young and beautiful. Once they dress up, the children have no resistance and want to get close to the teacher. There are also pretty desk mates and classmates. So many mothers are jealous and start asking their sons a fatal question: who is prettier, me or someone? At first, the son had no experience and said very straightforwardly that his female deskmate, female classmate or female teacher was pretty. Then after the mother got angry once, the son knew from then on that when the mother asked this question, the standard answer was always, "Mom is the prettiest." Megan's wound was so big and ugly that she stapled it 3 times, making it even uglier. Does she not care about beauty or ugliness? No, she just cares more about survival. And now she is lucky to have met a parent who is willing to love her sincerely, so from now on, she can be like ordinary girls, loving beauty and being conceited. Adam naturally couldn't let her lose at the starting line. The operation was over. Dr. Duncan, Megan's adoptive parents who had been waiting outside, came forward expectantly. "Don't worry, the operation was successful." Adam smiled. "Thank God." Megan's adoptive parents immediately hugged each other excitedly. "Thank you, Dr. Duncan." After thanking God, Megan's adoptive parents began to thank Adam. He always came in second. If it was Dr. House next door, he might say something like "there is no God," but Adam didn't care. Many people don't necessarily really thank God, it's just a subconscious expression. And the existence of Adam, who is a time traveler, cannot deny the possibility of a higher existence. This is the territory of others, the emperor, and he is not the hot-blooded Adam who doesn't have divine skills that are not inferior to me, nor does he want to ascend to a higher dimension and transcend. It's better to be in awe. "Megan's injury is fine," Adam said, "but her painlessness needs extra protection, especially self-protection. You should pay more attention to it in the future." "Yes, we will." Megan's adoptive parents nodded repeatedly. Adam saw sincerity in their eyes and was very relieved. After seeing ugliness, it is really touching to suddenly encounter the light of truth, goodness and beauty. "I know I am a little presumptuous, but I still want to propose something," Adam said carefully. "Dr. Duncan, you say, we all listen to you." Megan's adoptive parents trust Adam very much. So Adam began to speak out his suggestions. To sum it up, he wants to introduce a friend to Megan, and this friend is Sheldon. As long as Megan can learn 1/10 of Sheldon's caution, then the serious side effects of painlessness will not affect Megan's future life at all. Are you kidding? Sheldon can avoid people who sneeze at the first time, and then start disinfection and monitor his body temperature with a thermometer at any time. Even bowel movements are recorded, and a full series of first base notebooks have been written since childhood. When shaking hands with family members, you have to wear gloves, and then wash your hands with disinfectant as soon as possible. In order to prevent physical accidents, he once hid his real body in the bedroom and made a simple robot device with a big face on a big screen to go to work at the university instead of him. Wearing the Flash's suit, walking with Batman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, the 6 giants of the DC Justice League are all there. But when Flash Sheldon saw a group of people stealing a car, he turned around and left without saying a word. Just ask, who else is so smooth and natural? Well, of course there are. Leonard's Green Lantern, Howard's Batman, Rajesh's Aquaman, are all so cowardly. And they are just the few friends of Sheldon. Then Penny, who used to be very strong and reckless, has been with Sheldon for a long time, wearing Wonder Woman's suit, and flashed with Sheldon. Even Zack, who only thought about muscles and had only been with Sheldon for a few days, wore a Superman suit, looked at the S logo on his chest, thought again and again, and followed Sheldon. This is Sheldon's influence. Megan woke up. Adam told her what she should pay attention to, and smiled. Megan, I'll introduce you to a friend. You can think of him as Professor X in the X-Men. You should learn more from him in the future. If you learn his skills, you don't have to worry about your problems from now on, and your parents can be relieved." Megan's adoptive parents nodded repeatedly. Adam convinced them. "Okay." Megan is very considerate, but will he be willing to be friends with me? You all like comics and superheroes. Adam smiled and said, "And they are all my friends. Usually, we communicate more about comics through phone calls and letters. I believe you will become friends." "Will Sheldon become friends with a little girl?" Haha. Adam was not worried about this. If Leonard hadn't pressed his head and told him not to look at the camera and pulled him away, he would have naturally become friends with a little girl. In another 10 or 20 years, he would still be a child. Chapter 640 Professor Cooper and Painless Medical Center. After Megan agreed, Adam called Sheldon. "No." Sheldon refused without hesitation on the other end of the phone. Megan's eyes darkened. Megan's adoptive parents breathed a sigh of relief, but also became a little anxious. Although out of trust in Adam and the benefits of making friends with this friend named Sheldon that Adam described to Megan, but it is impossible for them to say that they are not worried at all about letting their 6-year-old daughter make friends with an 18-year-old boy. Now seeing Sheldon's decisive refusal, in their eyes, it is obviously basically ruled out that Sheldon is a pervert. After removing the biggest worry, they began to expect that their friend Sheldon could bring earth-shaking changes to their daughter Megan. Painlessness cannot be treated, it can only be prevented by oneself, and looking at the rough play of their daughter Megan in the past, it is still very difficult for her to prevent it by herself. In this case, the prospect described by Adam is even more dreamy and beautiful. "Don't refuse so quickly." Adam raised his hand to Megan's family, gave them a reassuring look, and said to Sheldon on the other end of the phone with a smile, "If I remember correctly, today is Wednesday. You should buy new comics at the comic shop, right?" "Of course." Sheldon on the other end of the phone said as a matter of course, "Everyone knows that Wednesday night is the new comic day of the week. If I'm not in the comic shop at this time, where am I?" "Are there any new updates on X-Men?" Adam said with a smile. "Yes." Sheldon said one word on the other end of the phone and then stopped. "Don't worry, I won't spoil it for you. If I remember correctly, someone is the Chewy Man?" Adam continued to trick Sheldon. He also relied on the X-Men comics to overcome his fear and become a superhero. "Someone is me," Sheldon said without hesitation. "I am the Chewy Man." "Yeah." Adam's mouth curled up. "I also know that someone's idol is Professor X." "What will Professor X do when facing children who have newly awakened superpowers?" "He will find them, then take them in, teach them to control their superpowers and become a qualified X-Men." Sheldon's voice hesitated. "Then there is a little girl who has awakened the superpower of painlessness, but she cannot control this superpower freely, so she is always hurt." Adam smiled and said, "What would Professor X do?" "What would the Chewy Man who inherited Professor X's philosophy do? He would help this little girl." Sheldon's voice was much lower. "Do you understand what I mean?" Adam said playfully. "Why yes." Sheldon paused and responded weakly. How could he refute himself? "Well, Chewy, come and say hello to Painless," Adam commanded remotely. "Hello, I'm Chewy Sheldon Cooper." On the other end of the phone, Sheldon greeted helplessly. "Hello, I'm Painless Megan Cleaver." Megan glanced at her adoptive parents, then looked at Adam, and greeted Sheldon generously. "We will be teammates in the future, protect the weak together, and save the world." "No, no, no." Sheldon was unwilling on the other end of the phone. "We are not teammates. You are my superpower student. You have to respectfully call me Professor Cooper." Sheldon got his first doctorate at the age of 15 and is studying for his second doctorate. Like Professor X in the X-Men, he is very knowledgeable and smart. Adam comforted, "You call him Professor Cooper, and that's right." "Yes, yes." Megan's adoptive parents were already laughing so hard at this moment, and hurriedly followed to persuade Megan. If there was a last bit of worry before, they were almost completely relieved at this moment. The teenager named Sheldon Cooper on the other end of the phone was clearly a child, and it was unknown whether his mental age was the same as his daughter Megan. He was a super genius, and he had a good teaching effect on his daughter, and he usually just called or wrote letters. They were too willing to accept this friend on behalf of their daughter Megan. "Okay then." Megan pouted and shouted crisply, "Professor Cooper, I treat you as a teammate, but you want to be my professor. It's a bit too much." No matter how sensible Megan is, she is just a 6-year-old girl, and she is still a little dissatisfied with the older boy Sheldon. "Very good, painless." Sheldon seemed to have found a sense of immersion, and his tone was much cheerful. "Professor Cooper will help you control your own abilities in the future." "I have an idea," Adam interrupted with a smile. "Professor Cooper, I will send you all the information and precautions about painless disease later, and then you will make a daily schedule for painless, and draft the supervision agreement. How about you be the supervisor, make a daily schedule, and draft the supervision agreement?" On the other end of the phone, Sheldon exclaimed in surprise, "Let me do it all?" "If you don't want to, I can," Adam teased. "No, I can," Sheldon shouted. "I like drafting documents and supervising others the most." "You are not allowed to compete with me." "It's okay if I don't compete." Adam winked at Megan and teased Sheldon on the other end of the phone, "But I want to see the effect. You know, if the painless superpower gets out of control, it will be a disaster for Megan. I must see the effectiveness and feasibility in this life schedule and supervision agreement. Don't just write the terms that are beneficial to you. Otherwise you are not qualified to draft this agreement, and you are not worthy of Megan calling you Professor Cooper." "Oh," Sheldon wailed, "not at all. I drafted the agreement for free and supervised for free. It's reasonable for me to feel good." "Then just a little bit." Adam knocked Sheldon and immediately handed him a carrot. "Great. The stick and carrot strategy is worthy of being the first choice of old coins in ancient and modern times, both at home and abroad." "The effect is not too good," Sheldon cheered immediately. Adam explained a few more words to Sheldon, and then handed the phone to Megan, asking her to communicate with Sheldon. "Dr. Duncan, what is the favorable clause that makes Professor Cooper happy?" Although Megan's father knew that Sheldon's mental age was still that of a child, he still couldn't help asking. "Haha." Adam smiled and comforted, "Don't worry, it's just some boring and childish clauses, such as respecting him, not being allowed to ridicule him, and laughing when he tells a joke." "Is that so?" Megan's parents couldn't help laughing when they heard it. There is no cure for Megan's painlessness. Only someone with obsessive-compulsive disorder like Sheldon can cure Megan to the greatest extent and give Megan the best self-protection awareness. Adam smiled and said, "But Sheldon is not with Megan after all, so at the beginning, I have to trouble you to cooperate with Sheldon and strictly urge Megan to follow the daily schedule set by Sheldon until Megan completely develops good self-protection habits. Believe me, Sheldon is the best at making daily schedules and urging people." "We will." Megan's adoptive parents nodded and promised, "We believe in you, Dr. Duncan." The three of them looked at Megan and Sheldon, chatting happily and childishly, and all smiled with relief. Obsessive-compulsive disorder can cure painlessness. "I am really a genius," Adam thought proudly in his heart. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 641, Intern Training Attending Doctor, Medical Center. Adam sorted out the most detailed information and precautions about painlessness and passed it to Sheldon. Then, at Christina's urging, he went to Alice Gray for a private lesson. Did Meredith really go? Adam looked at Christina. Suddenly, several people were missing. Only he and Christina were facing Alice Gray, and it felt a lot more empty. "What do you think?" Christina shrugged. She was bumped into by Dr. Shept when she was having lunch with Finn at noon. Dr. Shept used surgery to seduce her in front of Finn. How dare she break the appointment in the evening? She will regret it sooner or later. Adam shook his head. Christina showed a helpless expression. Meredith's mother, Alice Gray, didn't care about her daughter's affairs at all. She knocked on the desk and reminded her with a cold face, "Let's get started." Christina immediately straightened her back, holding a notebook, staring at Alice Gray with burning eyes, and discussing medical skills with Adam. There was no way, with her ability, she could only listen in. This alone made her stand out from the crowd. Many people did not even have the qualifications and ability to sit in on the lecture. The next morning, when a familiar figure appeared in the hospital, it immediately caused a storm of gossip. "Isn't that Mark Sloan? Why is he here again? Didn't you see he's wearing a white hospital coat? I heard that he, like Dr. Shept and Dr. Montgomery, resigned from his job in Boston and officially joined the medical center." TSK, is this true love, or is it just bullshit? Look, Dr. Shept is walking over. They're going to fight. We can't afford to fight. The last time was an accident. Dr. Shep's hand was injured afterwards, and the director has yelled at him many times. If he gets injured again, the director will definitely be completely furious. Yes, the hands of famous doctors are the most valuable assets of the hospital. They must not be injured. I heard that Dr. Yang likes authority the most, and that's why she got together with Dr. Burke. So, Dr. Burke's hands are everything to her. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you, too. You little girls, I really don't know what to say. You're so bold. Stop talking nonsense. Look, Dr. Shept is chasing the director to ask for an explanation. It's impossible. For the director, business is business. Although Dr. Shep's neurosurgery department has a high status, its earning ability is only half of that of plastic surgery. How could the director listen to him? Half? Isn't that too exaggerated? Dr. Shept earns $2 million a year for the hospital. Doesn't that mean that if Dr. Sloan comes here, he can earn $4 million a year for the hospital? It's so exaggerated. If Dr. Mark Sloan can't make that much money, do you really think he can be so extravagant just by being tall and handsome? What do you mean he is tall and handsome, Humphrey? He can't compare with Dr. Duncan at all. Yes, Dr. Duncan is too serious. Otherwise, with his conditions, even if he doesn't have that much money, he can be more extravagant than Mark. Oh, what a pity. I hope Dr. Duncan can be a little like Mark Sloan, at least a little bit. A group of young nurses were gossiping secretly. This must be a nightmare. When Dr. Montgomery saw Mark Sloan, he held his forehead and questioned Mark, and finally they parted unhappily. At noon, Adam went from the emergency room to the cafeteria. When he walked through the corridor, he was surprised to find a strange scene. "Get out! Get out! Get out!" With a series of urgent shouts from a woman, Dr. Montgomery walked out of the ward helplessly. "Am I seeing this right?" Adam was surprised. "When will you be asked to leave by a patient?" "Obviously, I was absent-minded today." Dr. Montgomery leaned against the wall and closed her eyes tiredly. As a top neonatologist, she has always been the object of patients and their families' scramble to please, and she has not experienced such an embarrassing situation for a long time. "What's the patient's condition?" Adam obviously knew the reason why Dr. Montgomery was absent-minded, but he was too lazy to say more. He was more curious about what disease made her so embarrassed. Because it was not a difficult case, even if Dr. Montgomery was absent-minded, she would not encounter such a thing. The pregnant woman's cervix has been fully opened, and she has had 3 contractions, but the fetus is still 2 centimeters above the pelvis, and there is no obvious tendency to fall down. Dr. Montgomery said with his eyes closed. "Then we should perform a cesarean section immediately." Adam took the medical record from her hand, frowned as he read it. "Otherwise, as time goes by, as the number of contractions increases, the fetal heart rate will become slower and slower, and there is a high possibility of late heart rate slowing." "I know. Don't I even know this?" Dr. Montgomery opened his eyes and said irritably. But the pregnant woman insisted on natural childbirth, saying that she is not a weak woman, she will not retreat when she encounters danger, she wants to follow the birth plan she made, she wants to feel the pain of childbirth, and asked me not to scare her, and then she screamed and drove me out. "Did you?" Adam closed the medical record and looked at her. "What did you say?" Dr. Montgomery was stunned. "Dr. Addison Montgomery," Adam said seriously, "are you a weak woman? What are you doing? The patient wants to do whatever she wants. What danger does she know?" At this time, she still insists on the natural delivery plan, proudly saying that she will not retreat when encountering danger and wants to experience the pain of natural delivery. She is taking risks with her own life and the life of her child. You are her doctor. Give up your love-blooded stories and use your experience and intuition as a top doctor to tell me what she should do now." He looked at the data in the medical records. "This is urgent. She should have a cesarean section immediately," Dr. Montgomery said subconsciously. "Then what are you waiting for?" Adam said in a deep voice. "Every minute you wait now, the mother and child will be 10 times more dangerous. You are her attending physician, the top authority. Show your authority and majesty. Don't be weak anymore, and take responsibility for the lives of the mother and child." Many patients are very stubborn. Once the doctor does not show enough authority, they will immediately do what they want. For example, Dr. Montgomery's experience and intuition all indicate that a cesarean section must be performed immediately because the fetus is too heavy, and a series of data show that natural childbirth is difficult. If it is delayed for too long, the baby may have a slow heart rate and die. Even the pregnant woman herself is in danger. Even in modern hospitals, it is not uncommon for one body and 2 lives to be lost. Giving birth is a matter of life and death for women, and this is no joke. That is really the conclusion drawn from countless blood and tears. But the pregnant woman was very stubborn, and Dr. Montgomery was absent-minded because of the bloody love triangle, so he seemed to be not authoritative and not confident enough. The pregnant woman noticed it immediately, and then she said to Dr. Montgomery in a few words, "It is possible to have a late heart rate. Has it appeared now?" "No." "No. What the hell? I am not a weak woman. I will not retreat when I encounter danger. I have my own delivery plan." Perhaps she has achieved some success in other fields, which gave her the illusion that as long as she sticks to her ideas, she will win in the end. Unfortunately, not all successful paths can be copied in other fields. Professional things need professionals. Chapter 642 What is coming will always come. Medical Center. Ward. Rebecca. After being scolded by Adam, Dr. Montgomery also reacted. He really couldn't let the pregnant woman lose her temper at this time. He took a deep breath, walked in again with Adam, and began to persuade the pregnant woman. But trust and authority, once lost, can't be picked up again in a short time. "I have a plan," pregnant woman Rebecca said stubbornly. "You can't be 100% sure. As long as there is a glimmer of hope, I will follow my plan. I don't want to miss the whole process of giving birth to my child just to accommodate your convenience or avoid legal disputes. This is not for convenience or to avoid legal disputes, but professional judgment." Adam helped persuade. "Who are you?" the pregnant woman interrupted directly. "You are so young, at most an intern. Even Dr. Montgomery is not sure. What qualifications do you have to say professional judgment?" After that, no matter how Adam and Dr. Montgomery persuaded her, she just didn't listen, and roared and drove Adam and others out again. "What should I do now?" Dr. Montgomery subconsciously looked at Adam. "You decide." Adam shrugged and said, "As doctors, we have done what we should do and have nothing to regret. Whatever she wants to do next, she can do it." As she said, "We can't be 100% sure." "That's the only way." Dr. Montgomery sighed. Adam glanced at her and turned to go to the cafeteria. This is because the relationship between the two has been much closer than that of ordinary colleagues since the kudzu rash, and the situation is critical and there are no outsiders. Otherwise he would not have scolded Dr. Montgomery before. After all, Dr. Montgomery is the director of the neonatal department. Even if he failed to perform well this time, he still has to save face. Cafeteria. "I can't stand it anymore." Meredith grabbed her hair and said weakly, "Who told you to date 2 people at once?" Christina complained. "Do you think you are Adam?" "Don't involve me." Adam smiled and sat down. "I'm praising you," Christian teased. Didn't Meredith say before that the reason she had this ridiculous idea was because she thought surgeons fantasized about crazy and unrealistic surgeries, turning the impossible into the possible? This statement does make some sense, but it doesn't apply to her, because she is not the top surgeon, and she doesn't have the top surgical talent. So she was exhausted at the beginning, but this statement is completely applicable to you, Adam Duncan. "I think you are very relaxed, because you are the top." Adam was speechless. because he seemed to be really applicable to this sentence that discredited surgeons. "Mr. Passion is here." Christina leaned back tactically, showing an expression of watching a show. "Congratulations." Mark Sloan walked straight to the table, glanced at Adam, and looked at Meredith. "I knew you would succeed. Let's have a drink together tonight. Celebrate the victory of our two dirty mistresses." "Go away." Meredith rolled her eyes. "Dr. Duncan." Mark Sloan looked at Adam again. "I'm looking forward to working with you as a colleague. I'm also looking forward to Dr. Sloan's guidance." Adam smiled. Mark Sloan's smile froze, but he remembered the pressure and frustration Adam brought to him by the boy with Lyme syndrome last time. "Dr. Sloan, how is Mr. Sullivan?" Christina hurriedly tried to smooth things over. "Who are you?" Mark glanced at her. "I'm Christina Yang." Christina was startled. "We just met this morning." "I'm Mr. Sullivan's attending physician. I don't need an attending physician for this case." Mark's arrogance was almost overflowing. His gentleness and teasing were only for beautiful women, but Christina's appearance was not in his aesthetic taste. "I'm not asking to be the attending physician." Christina was furious. "I'm just asking about my patient's condition." "He's no longer your patient," Mark said coldly, then turned and left. Beep, beep. Adam's pager rang. He took it out and ran to the ward. In the corridor, "Dr. Duncan, hurry up. Dr. Montgomery needs your help." The nurse saw Adam and immediately reminded him loudly. "Where?" Mark, who was walking in front, heard it and asked the nurse, then ran to the ward. Outside the delivery room, the pregnant woman's cry of pain came from afar. Who, baby, I love you so much." The pregnant woman's husband was pushing his wife hard. "Shut up." The pregnant woman, who was stubborn and insisted on experiencing the natural birth process, was no longer as strong as she was at the beginning. She wailed and cursed at her husband, who was encouraging her. It was too painful. "What's going on?" When Adam came over, he saw a chaotic scene. The baby's head came out, but it stuck. Dr. Montgomery shouted, "Shoulder dystocia." "It's too big." Adam immediately understood what was going on. The baby's shoulder was hanging on the pubic bone and was stuck and couldn't come out. "Do something," the pregnant woman's husband yelled. "Use the flexion thigh method." Dr. Montgomery held the baby's head and shouted, "Adam, help me put the baby's shoulders back in place." "Okay." Adam didn't say anything. After the nurse lifted the pregnant woman's thigh, he pressed the pregnant woman's belly to assist Dr. Montgomery's actions. "Damn it." Dr. Montgomery tried a few times and began to sweat on his forehead. "No, enlarge the external feminine incision." At this time, Mark Sloan suggested, "Scissors." Dr. Montgomery shouted. The nurse immediately handed her the scissors. The pregnant woman screamed again. "You can't anesthetize a normal birth, and all the pain will be transmitted to the pregnant woman's brain at the first time. I'm going to try the Wozniacki method." Dr. Montgomery enlarged the external feminine incision and tried again. Unfortunately, it still didn't work. The baby was too big, and it was simply a death warrant at this time. "Still not working." Dr. Montgomery looked grim. "Now we can only use the Zavieli method to push the baby's body back again, and then do an emergency cesarean section." Adam reminded, "If the baby is not taken out within 5 minutes, he will be brain dead." "Yes." Dr. Montgomery looked at the pregnant woman. "Rebecca, I need your consent." "I agree. Take him out quickly." Pregnant woman Rebecca was no longer as stubborn and strong as before. "It's too late to go to the operating room. Get the cesarean section tray," Dr. Montgomery ordered. "I'll go." Adam ran out like a gust of wind. At this moment, you have to race against time. No matter how the pregnant woman made people angry before, the child in her belly is innocent. As a doctor, Adam must do his best. P.S. Thanks to Fujian and R_ for the reward. Chapter 643. I am a plastic surgeon, not a suture doctor. Medical center. Delivery room. Because the pregnant woman insisted on giving birth naturally according to her birth plan despite the doctor's repeated advice, she is now facing a difficult labor, which has cost her half her life, and she has to go back to cesarean section. However, there is no preparation, and time is urgent. There is no time for general anesthesia, so she can only choose local anesthesia. Adam took the cesarean section operating tray as quickly as possible. She started to convulse. 4 milligrams of sedative. Okay, I'm going to start. Dr. Montgomery took the scalpel and directly cut open the pregnant woman's belly, risking the unsatisfactory operating environment, the risk of infecting the pregnant woman, and the risk of serious complications afterwards. The 5-minute countdown hung over everyone's head. Adam and others didn't want the baby in the pregnant woman's belly to not experience the first breath of birth because of his mother's stubbornness. Get ready to take out the baby, he's so big. Dr. Montgomery is the top neonatologist after all, and he took out the baby safely at the fastest speed. The baby's size is beyond normal. Umbilical cord clamp. Dr. Montgomery held the baby and gave him a breath with a micro airbag, but there was no response. After clamping the umbilical cord that breathes with the mother, it was still the same. He's not breathing. Adam, the mother is in your hands. Dr. Montgomery's face changed. He cut the umbilical cord with scissors and shouted at Adam. Okay. Adam nodded and calmly began to take charge of the follow-up surgery of the pregnant woman. Dr. Montgomery was more familiar with neonatal emergency treatment, holding the baby who was not breathing, and went to the side to perform emergency treatment. Shall I do it? Mark Sloan said as he was about to take over Adam's work. As a top attending physician, he had no choice but to take the opportunity to show his lover and comfort his lover who had come from heaven to the medical center. No need. Dr. Montgomery heard it, and while giving the baby first aid, he shouted, Adam will take charge. He is more familiar with this kind of operation. Wait until the final suture. Mark Sloan's face suddenly turned black. He was a top plastic surgeon, with an income twice that of a neurosurgeon, and truly at the top of the doctor's income chain, but at this moment he was despised. In the comparison with an intern, he was completely denied by his lover who was also a top doctor. So he is a suture surgeon? He hadn't felt the medical contempt chain's unfriendly attitude towards them, the plastic surgeons, for a long time. At this moment, he suddenly understood how his former best friend, Derek Shept, felt when he saw him hanging out with Addison. He didn't care before, because he was the one who backstabbed others, and he didn't care about ethics and morality. We were all good friends, and it was good to keep the money within the family. It was great to find some excitement, just make a fuss and then make peace. How nice. But now, in his most proud professional field, he was stabbed by his equally top lover in other fields, and he felt deeply stung and angry. Is this the taste of green? Mark Sloan stood there in a daze. But Adam and Dr. Montgomery had no time to pay attention to him. Dr. Montgomery was rescuing a baby who was not breathing. Adam was facing a new challenge. After all the tossing and turning, the pregnant woman began to have severe arterial bleeding. Mark saw this scene and his eyes flashed. He wanted to see if Adam, the intern, could do it. Even he would be in a panic in such a life-or-death situation. After all, everyone has their own expertise, and he is not good at saving people. But to his disappointment, Adam was always calm and composed, commanding a group of nurses to assist, and quickly stabilized the patient's condition. He greeted Dr. Montgomery and pushed the patient directly to the operating room. This kind of operation could no longer be completed in the delivery room. Dr. Montgomery also saved the baby, put the baby in an incubator, and sent it directly to the neonatal intensive care unit for observation and monitoring. You succeeded. Mark stepped forward to congratulate. Stay away from me, Dr. Montgomery shouted coldly, walked towards the pregnant husband who had already panicked and was at a loss, told him the situation, and after comforting him again and again, rushed to the operating room. Her patient was not completely out of danger yet. When she thought that it was because Mark went to work at the medical center without saying hello, she was absent-minded and lost her usual confidence and decisiveness, and almost lost 2 lives. She felt ashamed and angry. Adam's words of scolding her could not help but float to her mind. She is Dr. Addison Montgomery, the top neonatologist, which is her greatest pride and identity. What is she doing now? She almost lost herself for these bloody love affairs. Her adulterer Mark was a jerk. He said he loved her the most, so much so that she really fell in love with him. But he turned around and blatantly cheated on other women. This is the real reason why she came to her husband after a few months and prepared to start over. She was really ready to live a good life with him. Compared with Mark, her husband Derek, who was very indifferent to her, was more worthy of being together. But now that her husband cheated on Meredith, it has become a thing of the past. Today's case shocked her greatly. It's not like no one wants her. Why should she fall into the whirlpool of these two people, lose herself, and shatter her pride? At this moment, she decided to completely stay away from the two most important men in her life and start over. Operating room. Adam, how is it? Dr. Montgomery asked after he came in. Don't worry, she's completely stable now, Adam said as he was doing the surgery. Dr. Montgomery breathed a sigh of relief and stepped forward to take the first assistant position, working with Adam to treat the pregnant woman. It was almost over. Do you want to call Dr. Sloan? Adam teased. We need to suture now. Why ask him? You should do it. Dr. Montgomery smiled and said, I know your suture skills are no worse than his. You don't need him at all. Then I'll suture it. Adam did not deny this statement and finished the last suture with a smile. After leaving the operating room, Dr. Montgomery took Adam to tell the pregnant woman's husband the good news and said goodbye to the pregnant woman's husband, who was grateful to him. It was really dangerous today. While waiting for the elevator, Dr. Montgomery leaned against the wall and let out a long sigh. Thank you, Adam. You're welcome, Adam joked. As long as you don't blame me for challenging your dignity as the attending physician. What dignity do I have? Those things about me have been spread all over. Dr. Montgomery smiled bitterly. Adam, you are right. I shouldn't be entangled in the bloody love affair. I cannot care about what other doctors and nurses think of me, but I can't care about the life and death of my patients. The lesson this time is too profound. If it weren't for you, the pregnant woman and her child might have died. Take this as a warning. Adam sighed. He knew the situation better than Dr. Montgomery, and it was not a maybe at all. Without his timely rescue, the pregnant woman and the baby would have died. The system's plus 0.01 plus 0.005 reward clearly showed the result. And why all this? The stubbornness of the pregnant woman accounted for 50%. And Dr. Montgomery's mistakes due to his wrong emotions also accounted for 50%. The attending physician must be confident and decisive, and let patients without medical knowledge believe in their professional judgment, rather than letting them take chances and act recklessly. The elevator came. Adam and Dr. Montgomery walked in. What are you doing? Adam looked at Dr. Montgomery in surprise and pressed the button for the underground floor, where the hospital's morgue was. I'm going there to reflect on myself. Dr. Montgomery smiled. Adam also smiled, because he saw the seriousness in her eyes and understood her thoughts. If it weren't for Adam's timely rescue and enough luck, the pregnant woman and the baby would probably be lying in the underground morgue now. Although she is lucky now, she still wants to go there, facing the corpse lying there, think carefully about the consequences of her continuing like this, and further reflect on herself. She really wants to change. Chapter 644 Hard Embroidery, Juno Nightclub, Medical Center. Surgery, Corridor. Well done, Adam. As soon as Christina saw Adam, she immediately began to praise him. It really proves to us real doctors that real doctors are all there to save lives. Okay, Christina. Meredith interrupted speechlessly. Plastic surgeons are also doctors. Don't belittle the entire plastic surgery department just because he made you angry. Am I wrong? Christina mocked. Only those who can save lives are real doctors. Mark Sloan can only make money. If he has the ability, he can save people. Such people, when encountering an emergency, are just watching the fun like today. But it's not surprising. Can he rely on him to embroider a flower on the patient's heart and use the whole painting of brain nerves to save people? Puff. Adam burst into laughter and couldn't help but give Christina a thumbs up. Christina, you are so poisonous. Awesome. No way. Christina spread her hands and said, who let him not see us little people in his eyes? There must be some characteristics to let him know who Christina Yane is. Really angry. Adam looked at Christina in surprise. Plastic surgery is indeed at the bottom of the medical contempt chain, but in this society where everything is about money, plastic surgeons who make a lot of money still have a very high status. Christina had already decided on cardiothoracic surgery. So she stood in the position of cardiothoracic surgery and mocked plastic surgery at the bottom of the academic contempt chain. It's like the intellectuals mocking the local tycoons, envying their wealth and despising their vulgar status. But she is just an intern, while Mark Sloan is a top plastic surgeon, and he was the director of plastic surgery as soon as he entered the medical center. The status is completely unequal. If she wasn't angry, Christina wouldn't do such a real name mockery, and even mock to death. If it were you, wouldn't you be angry? Christina rolled her eyes. Haha. I think he will definitely remember who Christina Yang is in the future. Adam couldn't help laughing. For a highly talented and arrogant surgeon, ignoring her in the professional field is unbearable, not to mention a chief doctor who hardly meets her, even her boyfriend, husband, and parents. What's wrong with Christina mocking you, Mark Sloan? This is not the first time. Not long after she came here, she was mocked by everyone, saying that pediatricians are all brats and psychiatrists are all idiots. She has a very bad relationship with people. So what, as long as Dr. Burke, the top cardiothoracic surgeon and her boyfriend, is willing to teach her, she is not worried at all. She does not have as big ambitions as Adam. She has actively sought surgery in emergency, gynecology, neonatology, orthopedics, plastic surgery and other departments, as if she wants to master all departments. She only identified cardiothoracic surgery and has no interest in rotating in other departments. In 2 months, the 1-year internship will be over. By then, after passing the residency exam, she will be a formal resident in cardiothoracic surgery. She doesn't care what the director of plastic surgery thinks of her. You still agree with her? Meredith looked at Adam dissatisfied. I'm just telling the truth. Adam smiled and said, besides, Christina is not going to have any close relationship with Mark Sloan, so what's wrong with a few jokes? Meredith's face darkened. She felt that Adam was mocking her. What does this again mean? Seeing this, Adam smiled and left. Today is the day when Sheldon's Aunt Beatty is discharged from the hospital. As the attending physician and a junior, he naturally has to go to see her off. Mrs. Cooper, Beatty, Amelia. After entering the VIP ward, Adam greeted the 3 people one by one, and then under the expectant eyes of the 3 people, he carefully checked them. After making sure there were no problems, he smiled and said, congratulations, Beatty. You can be discharged from the hospital. It has been 2 weeks since the last surgery. The injuries from the surgery have healed and she can move freely. Cancer has already given her a notice. Beatty obviously doesn't want to waste the last bit of time in the hospital. In the last few weeks of her life, even if she doesn't go to the nightclub to play DJ and dance, she also wants to live a wonderful life. Thank God. Mary, a devout believer, was the first to thank the biggest contributor. Mom, I'll accompany you wherever you want to go, Amelia said happily. Although you're out of the hospital, you still shouldn't do anything too exciting. Adam couldn't help but remind her. I know, Beatrice smiled. I just want to go around and have a look. Amelia and I will accompany you. Mary smiled. It's just right to fulfill our childhood wish of traveling together. Okay. Beatrice had no objection. She knew that even if she wanted to go around alone, Mary and Amelia would not be at ease. Besides, Amelia and Mary were already her closest people in the world. If she didn't accompany them during the last period of time, who else would she accompany? You can go to Wharton Business School to see Missy, and let her take Amelia and you around to get familiar with what college is like in advance, Adam suggested with a smile. If I remember correctly, Mrs. Cooper's first college trip was very pleasant. That's right. Mary's eyes lit up when she heard it. When I first took Sheldon to college, he didn't want me to accompany him. He was afraid that others would treat him as a child, so he asked me to wait outside the university. Fortunately, I met Sam, a classmate of Sheldon's high school physics class. She bought me a school commemorative t-shirt and took me around the campus. What a good girl. Although her purpose was to make Sheldon depressed to death when he saw me wearing the school commemorative t-shirt. But she is really a good girl. What's more fun is, after I put it on, a boy named Jason came over to invite Sam to the homecoming barbecue party. Sam said I was her friend. As a result, Jason thought I was also a freshman in the school. Can you believe it? He thought I was a female college student. Ha ha ha. Speaking of this, even after many years, Mary still couldn't stop laughing. It sounds interesting. Bidis couldn't help laughing. You know, she is exactly like Mary. The sense of substitution is super strong. Of course it's interesting. Mary waved and laughed. They are all very friendly, knowing that I am a mother of 3 children. They all admire me and say that I am so cool. I really love college. Well, let's go home first and see friends. And then the first stop is Missy's Wharton School of Business. Let Missy take us around the university. Bidis smiled. Missy is not Sheldon. She will definitely treat you well. Adam smiled and said, by the way, I still don't know where you live. Bidis? Amelia quickly said the name of the town. Huh? Adam was surprised. You are also in that town? What a coincidence. How? Amelia asked curiously. You know? Yes, Adam exclaimed. My best friend's family lives there, and my friend's perfect girlfriend who he recently met is also a teacher in the elementary school in your town. What's your friend's name? And what's the name of that elementary school teacher? Beatty smiled and said, maybe we know each other. My friend's name is Monica Geller, and my friend's recent girlfriend is Anna Taylor. Adam said. The Geller family? Beatty said with a smile. Is it the Geller family who are particularly strong-willed? Their 2 children, a boy and a girl, were once hospitalized for playing football? That's them. Adam laughed dumbly and said, it seems that the Geller family is really famous in your place. Teacher Taylor also taught me. Amelia couldn't help but say, what a coincidence. Yes, Adam nodded. What a coincidence. Everyone laughed and talked for a while. The nurse had already helped to handle the discharge procedures. Adam sent them out of the hospital and asked them to call him if they had anything, and then went back to the hospital. Then he saw a familiar figure, which surprised him again. Chapter 645 The Clown is Me. Medical Center. Lobby. Adam was surprised to see a familiar figure, although he had only met him once. But he was a man who looked like a god of war with a strong will, iron-blooded tenderness. That's right. This familiar figure was the owner and undertaker of the small-town funeral home that Monica and Rachel were obsessed with when they were young, and the strongest father who had played various rescue roles. Mr. Elliot Deacon. According to Monica, Mr. Deacon lost his wife when he was young, and he was the most famous bachelor in their area. And because he loved his deceased wife so much, even if countless women wanted to pursue him, he didn't move, kept his distance, and was single, lonely and romantic. The last time Monica's grandmother passed away, when Adam asked her about this man who looked like a god of war, Monica blushed instantly. TSK. If Monica saw now, her dream lover in her teenage years, the taciturn, gentle and silent male god, was now flirting with a woman, and this woman was probably meeting Mr. Deacon for the first time. I really don't know how Monica would feel if she knew. At this moment, Adam had already walked in and met Mr. Deacon, who seemed to be the god of war. Adam smiled at him, and Mr. Deacon smiled back, obviously remembering that he had seen Adam. Adam, do you know each other? Dr. Montgomery said in surprise. That's right. The woman who was chatting happily with Mr. Deacon was Dr. Montgomery. Long time no see, Mr. Deacon. Adam smiled and said, let me introduce myself. I'm Adam Duncan, a doctor. Hello, Dr. Duncan. Mr. Deacon nodded with a smile. I remember you seemed to be a friend of the Geller family. Yes. Adam smiled and nodded. The few people exchanged a few more pleasantries, and Mr. Deacon said goodbye. He came here to take the deceased back for burial. It was not the same thing for him to stand there all the time. Adam, tell me about Elliot. Dr. Montgomery pulled Adam aside and asked urgently. Not really? Adam looked at her in surprise. Is this the first time you meet? And didn't you go to the underground morgue to reflect on yourself just now? Yes. Dr. Montgomery blushed, but still suppressed his embarrassment. Adam, do you believe in love at first sight? I don't believe it. Adam showed a loose-style expression. Dr. Montgomery paused and said awkwardly, most people believe it, and I believe it too. Derek and I used to be like that. At that time, we were really inseparable. Everyone envied us and called us the happy ships. I know the result was not very good. That was my fault. But it is undeniable that we were very loving in the beginning. Did Mr. Deacon give you the same feeling? Adam saw that she did not hide her mistakes, so he did not continue to tease. Yes. Dr. Montgomery couldn't help but smile. and this feeling is even stronger than before. Just now, I went to the underground morgue to look at these dead bodies and reflect on myself, and he came in to take the dead patients back for burial. His smile immediately broke through my sadness and made me smile back. Is that so? Adam was a little surprised. What's wrong? Dr. Montgomery asked quickly. In my impression, he doesn't seem to be such a person. Adam pondered. I met him because I attended the funeral of my friend's grandmother. My friend told me that after he lost his wife at a young age, he heard that he couldn't let go of his beloved wife, never remarried, and didn't even get close to any woman who pursued him. It's amazing that he is like this with you. This is love at first sight. Dr. Montgomery's eyes lit up. He is indeed a gentle, romantic and affectionate man. My feeling is right. He is not comparable to Derek and Mark. Adam smiled. A scumbag like Mark. Anyone is better than him. As for Dr. Shept, although he also cheated and did all kinds of confusing human behaviors, these were after he was stabbed in the back by his brother's beloved wife. He turned green like the Hulk and lost his mind in anger, which is understandable. However, understanding is understanding, but in terms of character and infatuation, it is indeed not comparable to Mr. Deacon, who has been alone for love for 10 to 20 years. Then congratulations in advance. Adam congratulated Dr. Montgomery. Mr. Deacon's deep-rooted good image in Adam's heart is indeed better than Dr. Montgomery's. Two men, if they are together in the future and their emotions are stable, Dr. Montgomery can treat patients and save lives better, which is also a good thing, because Monica was pregnant. Adam did not tease her about this news. A few days later, Adam saw Mr. Deacon again at the medical center, and this time, Mark, who already knew that Dr. Montgomery did not choose Shept or himself, was furious as he watched his true love flirting with a very elegant man, and he went forward to confront him head-on without hesitation. The fun is about to begin. Christina came close to Adam, staring at that place with burning eyes, almost eating a bag of popcorn. It's better to fight. Then Mark hurts his hand and never recovers from it. Oh, he really offended you, didn't he? Adam turned his head to look at Christina, showing the same expression Leonard had when he looked at Rajesh, who was watching an action romance movie and insisted on discussing it with him. Christina showed a matter-of-fact look. Over there, meet Mark Sloan, the director of plastic surgery at the medical center. Mark took the initiative to extend his hand to Elliot Deacon. Elliot Deacon. Mr. Deacon also extended his hand, but did not reveal his identity, and his expression was very indifferent. Mr. Deacon was in his 40s and almost 50, and looked a little old. Mark and Montgomery were both in their 30s, not yet 40, and were in their prime, and he often worked out, and his appearance, income, and figure were all in one, and he didn't miss any of them. Without this capital, how could he be so extravagant? Even his best and most outstanding friend and his most beloved goddess wife could be hooked. So Mark, who was confident of his strength, used the most old-fashioned and practical way to show his power as soon as he shook hands, trying to give his old man rival a reminder. But soon his smile froze there, because the old man in his eyes was very strong. No matter how much he increased his strength, the other party did not react at all, just looked at him indifferently. The master was actually by my side. The clown was actually me, looking at the rival who seemed to be at ease and could obviously increase his strength to fight back. Mark was afraid. These hands were his greatest capital. Mark, seeing that they had been shaking hands for so long, Dr. Montgomery immediately guessed Mark's plan and shouted angrily, "Let go." Mr. Deacon let go of his hand. Dr. Montgomery immediately stepped forward, took Mr. Deacon's hand, and examined it distressedly. Mark's face was ashen. Adam narrowed his eyes. P.S. Thanks to the book friend 20170126171035014 for the reward. The actor of Dr. Montgomery in The Strongest Beats Dad co-produced the movie Golden Rescue in 2020. I never thought that Dr. Montgomery would become the heroine of the movie. Chapter 646. For surgery, I only go to Adam Medical Center. The duel between the strongest god of war and the most extravagant doctor ended with the most extravagant doctor's complete defeat. Mark was angry that he lost to his old man rival, and he was also angry that Dr. Montgomery treated him differently in public. But Adam saw something different. Mr. Deacon looked calm, but the indifference in his eyes actually sounded the alarm in Adam's heart. Although Adam always jokingly called him a suspected god of war, the god of war killed countless people on the battlefield and ignored human lives. But after the return of the god of war, under the world, script, drama, meaning, beauty, culture, for ordinary people, as long as they did not let their daughter live in a doghouse, even if it was his rival who cheated on him, it was an internal contradiction that was not dangerous and could be tolerated again and again, rather than a life-and-death enemy self-contradiction. But Adam keenly noticed the indifference in Mr. Deacon's eyes, which was the kind of extreme indifference that flashed and was extremely dangerous, and even he, a bystander, was stimulated and warned. This is wrong. Could it be that Mr. Deacon, a father with thick eyebrows and big eyes, has turned bad and evil? Adam secretly paid attention to it. The farce was over soon. Mark Sloan, who had lost all his dignity, was the first to leave and return to the hospital. Mr. Deacon also walked out of the hospital accompanied by Dr. Montgomery. A crowd of onlookers returned to their respective posts amidst the amazement. In the corridor, "Meredith, are you okay?" When Adam and Christina came over after watching the show, they saw Meredith with a pale face, hunched over, and weakly leaning against the wall. Her best friend Christina immediately stepped forward and touched her forehead. "You have a fever." "I'm fine." Meredith brushed away her best friend's hand and smiled bitterly. "I'm just not used to eating two different dishes at the same time, and I have some indigestion." Adam and Christina looked at each other and both showed strange smiles. "It's not what you think." Meredith also saw the expressions of Adam and the others, and said unhappily, "It's a real dish." "Finn and I haven't reached that stage yet." "Which stage?" Christina joked. "Poor Finn." Adam shook his head. "We are both suitors, but we lost at the starting line." Meredith's body swayed, and she didn't know if it was because of the fever and dizziness, or because Adam was angry. "Haha." Christina couldn't help laughing. "You're still laughing." Meredith looked at her bestie dissatisfiedly. "I think Adam is right." Christina always said whatever she thought. "Since you have to choose between Mr. Dreamy and Finn, you can't treat them differently." "Don't tell us that you and Mr. Dreamy have only dated and chatted for the past few days and kissed goodbye at the door?" Meredith was speechless. How could it be possible? "No." Christina smiled and said, "If you ask me, why are you still struggling? Your body is honest." Finn is indeed a little pitiful. He didn't even know that he had lost from the beginning. "No." Meredith wanted to refute, but faced with Christina who was eager to continue the discussion and Adam who seemed to be smiling, thinking that she was still dating Finn before, but cheated on Derek, this rebuttal was really hard to say. At this time, Dr. Montgomery came over with a refreshed spirit. "Adam, I just have an appointment for tomorrow. It's very rare. Do you want to come and see it tomorrow?" "Of course." Adam agreed happily. Christina's eyes were full of envy. Although she had chosen cardiothoracic surgery, she had always looked down on other departments, including neonatology and gynecology. But she was envious of the rare surgery and Adam's treatment. "I didn't know until I thought about it." I was shocked. When Adam came in, only Dr. Green was protecting him. But now, Dr. Burke, Dr. Shept, Dr. Montgomery, etc., except for Mark Sloan who just joined the company, it seems that all the famous doctors in the medical center value him very much. Whenever there is a good operation, they want to give him a chance at the first time. Whenever there is a difficult operation, they also want to take him with them at the first time. It's too tempting. Ugh. Meredith vomited directly when Dr. Montgomery walked by, and kicked Dr. Montgomery. "You." Dr. Montgomery frowned, glanced at the rival of yesterday who was vomiting, and said in surprise, "Are you pregnant?" "I'm not pregnant." Meredith immediately denied it. "Whatever." Dr. Montgomery shrugged and left. A woman who is in love has already let go of the troubles of her ex-husband and adulterous lover. Abdominal pain, fever, vomiting. Christina helped Meredith into the ward and reminded her, "Believe me, these are signs of pregnancy." "Fortunately, there is no need to guess the father of this child," Adam teased, "unless your standards have not reached that stage yet, and they are different from ours." "Ha ha ha." "Yes, Meredith, Your standards have always been much larger than those of ordinary people." Christina laughed. "We are doctors, and we know that some low standards are also risky. Tell me, are you worried about whose child is now?" Meredith covered her eyes with her hands, not wanting to look at the two people who were gloating. "Adam, help me take a look." After Christina checked once, she motioned Adam to come forward. "Okay." Adam did not refuse. This kind of examination is very normal. When classmates asked each other questions, Bianca and the others even took Adam's hands directly to check their consciences to deepen their learning effect. Putting aside unprofessional distractions, it's all fat. There is nothing different. "Congratulations." "It should not be pregnancy," Adam said in a dragging voice after checking. "Not pregnant?" Christina said in surprise. "No." Adam smiled and said, "It should be appendicitis." "Appendicitis?" Meredith and Christina shouted in unison. "Let me help you." Christina looked at her bestie with a smile. "No." Meredith shook her head. "Let Adam do it for me." "You don't trust me?" Christina said dissatisfiedly. "It's not that I don't trust you," Meredith smiled bitterly and said, "it's just that Adam's skills are the best. You only have one body, and you don't need this small operation, right?" "Okay, I'll help you." Adam smiled and said, "Originally, I was going to suggest that George do it for you. After all, you get up from where you fell." "George is no longer the same." "No," Meredith shouted, "George is my good friend, but I will never let him do my appendectomy." Thinking back to the time when a group of interns just came to the medical center, the first operation should have been George who offended Dr. Burke, and Dr. Burke pushed him up to kill the chicken to scare the monkey. But Adam suddenly showed up, making a perfect start. George was the second operator, and the one he had done was an appendectomy. But the result was disappointing. The newcomer was confused when he encountered the situation, and was mocked by Alex as 007. Meredith had spoken up for George at first, but now that she is facing it herself, even though George is no longer the newbie George, she is still unwilling to give George another chance to try. She even refused to let Christina, her best friend who is technical expert, she only wants the best. She is so honest. P.S. Thanks to Yi Huang Hun and Msala Ying for the reward. Chapter 647 Everyone comes to see Adam for medical treatment. Medical center. The test results were the same as Adam's diagnosis. Meredith was not pregnant, but had appendicitis. While waiting, Meredith couldn't stand the pain and asked Christina to give her some morphine. Then she became a happy fool. Not only did she tell Finn and Dr. Shept who came to see her that she wanted everything as a mature woman, but she also revealed her unpleasant experience with George. If George hadn't left decisively and quickly, the more exciting explanation of the reasons later would have caused strong discomfort. The scene was once so awkward that it exploded. She was the only one in the audience who was laughing. This fool, knowing the effect of morphine, had to do this in the workplace in order to relieve the pain temporarily. After Adam removed her appendix, the effect of the medicine disappeared, and she regained consciousness. She looked at the two men beside her and smiled happily. This was exactly the scene in a dream, but she never expected that this scene did not last for a few seconds. Dr. Shept sincerely blessed her and Finn and almost sang, "I can't learn the love you want. Breaking up is another kind of understanding. The last love I can give you is to let go of your hand, aka love whoever you want. I won't play with you anymore." Meredith was dumbfounded. This was obviously too much. It was really a mess. Dr. Shept left with a smile. Then Meredith learned from the pain and honestly recognized herself. She took the initiative to give Finn, who never left her, a good guy card, broke up with Finn, and said goodbye to Finn in tears. She understood Dr. Shep's smile and knew that it was a foolish dream to want it all. Mr. Dream, where is he not sought after by countless women? Why should she choose between the two? What a joke. At night, old friends bar. Adam, Matthew, Lily, accompanied Ted and Ted's perfect girlfriend Anna Taylor to drink and chat, because Barney was not allowed to enter the old friends bar. In the past few weeks, Ted and Anna were dating here almost every night. He really didn't want Barney to do anything to ruin his relationship with Anna. Adam didn't come here often, and this was the first time he had officially met Anna in a few weeks. Amelia. I remember her, a very beautiful little girl. Anna really remembered Amelia, and her eyes lit up when she mentioned her. How is she recently? Not very well. Adam shook his head and told her about Amelia's mother who had passed away not long ago. Anna was stunned and didn't speak for a long time. Anna, are you okay? Ted saw this and called out worriedly. Nothing. Anna forced a smile and said, this is the second bad news I have heard today. What was the first one? Lily asked with concern. As a teacher in the lower grades, and with Ted's relationship, she had a good impression of Anna. My former piano teacher, Mr. Hutton, passed away today, Anna said sadly. The funeral will be held in 3 days. So that's how it is, Ted suddenly said. I thought. Why didn't you tell me before? Adam glanced at him, thinking, what's there to say about this kind of thing? Anna shook her head and said, it's not a happy thing. Just because it's not a happy thing, you have to say it. Lily advised, couples are not only happy, but also support each other to overcome pain and difficulties. Yes. Ted reached out and held Anna's hand. In the future, you must tell me if there is anything. It will be much better if you say it out. Yeah. Anna nodded, but judging from her expression, it would be difficult to do so in a short period of time. Adam and Lily looked at each other and saw it, but they didn't say anything. It only took a few weeks for Ted and Anna to know each other and fall in love. It was normal for Anna to be reserved. For things like this, you can only let it go. When the feelings are there is no need to say anything. It will be natural. After a while, Anna received a call and left early. Ted didn't have a car, so he didn't go to see her off. After Anna left, Ted's expression suddenly fell. No, Tilda, Lily shouted subconsciously. What's wrong? Matthew was puzzled. Ted, you can't do this again. Lily stared at Ted with her eyes wide open. What did I do? Ted was confused. Don't try to fool me, Lily shouted. You were so affectionate with your girlfriend 1 second ago, and you broke up with her after you looked like this the next second. I won't allow you to do this again. God. Anna is an elementary school teacher. She still has to teach and educate people. You can't hurt her like this. She is the perfect type you have worked so hard to find. What are you dissatisfied with? Ted's mouth twitched, speechless, listening to Lily's excited scolding him, and waited until Lily calmed down, then complained, when did I say I would do this? It was just a special case before. You didn't mean that? Lily was stunned, and when she saw Ted looking at her sincerely, she immediately knew that she had made a mistake and was embarrassed. I really didn't, Ted said helplessly. It's not Lily's fault. Adam tried to smooth things over. I thought so for a moment just now, and this is not an exception, so you can't blame us for thinking too much. Right, Lily quickly agreed. It's really not our fault for thinking too much. You have too many criminal records. No, if you don't mean that, why do you have the same expression and make me think too much? She was very dissatisfied when she said this. Ted hesitated. Is it related to Anna's mood? Adam smiled and said, just now, when you saw that Anna was in a bad mood, you were relieved when she said that she heard 2 bad news. So what did you think caused Anna's mood to be bad? Lily and Matthew also stared at Ted. Ted was embarrassed and hesitated to speak. Hey, we are your best friends. Is there anything you can't tell us? Lily urged. Okay. I told you not to spread it, Ted said in a tangled way. I was going to ask Adam about it. Anna has been acting strange these days. She is not as affectionate as we were a few weeks ago. She is absent-minded at any time. Do you understand, huh? Lily didn't react at first, but after glancing at everyone and seeing the unspeakable playful expressions of Adam and others, she finally reacted and couldn't help laughing. Haha, we understand. Keep talking. This is also normal. It's not necessary for you to find Adam, right? Anyway, it's much weirder than you think. Ted smiled bitterly and said, Anna has been like a soulless body these days. She is always absent-minded. No matter what I asked her, she didn't say anything. She just said it was okay. I wonder if she wants to break up with me. Ah, Lily was stunned. Who would have thought that there would be such a reversal? She, who was fighting for justice, felt a little embarrassed. Then why did you come to me? Adam said in surprise. Ted's old face flushed. Oh, I see. Adam laughed and said, you think it's your problem. As he said that, he looked at Ted seriously, as if he was examining him, so that Ted didn't dare to look at the expressions of Lily and Matthew. Are you sure you were really in love in the past few weeks? Adam asked seriously. Why do you ask? Matthew asked with concern. Nothing. I always have to set a standard, Adam said seriously. Maybe Anna has always been like this, but Ted was too enthusiastic in the past few weeks and didn't notice it. Ted, if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 648, Shocking News. Old Friends Bar. Impossible. Before Ted could speak, Matthew took over with a very sure attitude. Ted is my buddy. I know his situation best. It can't be what you said. I believe Ted too. Lily nodded repeatedly beside him. He is not hallucinating. He and Anna were indeed very loving before. Really? Adam looked at Lily and Matthew with a look of how do you know so clearly? If that's the case, then there is no big problem. Well, it shouldn't be your problem. Are you sure? Ted was very hesitant. Adam smiled. I was sure at first, but now I am not sure. You know, the same symptom can be caused by many reasons. Some are physiological and some are psychological. I think you have psychological problems. How about I find a professional psychologist to talk to you and help you rebuild your confidence? No need. Ted waved his hand. Maybe it's my illusion. Okay, no more jokes. When you have time, ask Anna to come to the hospital for a checkup. Adam stopped teasing him and reminded, I see that she looks bad. Maybe she has physiological or psychological problems. Were you teasing him just now? Lily said speechlessly. Not really. Adam smiled. These things are mutually influential. Maybe it was just Anna's problem at first, but now Ted is obviously not confident and has psychological problems. It is also a normal suggestion for him to talk to a psychologist and relieve his stress. Anna is sick? Ted said nervously. Not sure. Adam shook his head. I can only see that she is not in good condition and may be unwell. As for whether she is sick or not, we need to check it in detail. I am not a god. I will persuade her to go to the hospital to see you, Ted said worriedly. Since Adam became a doctor and showed unprecedented talent, his friends would come to him for almost any medical problem. Even Ted chose to come to him for consultation when he encountered this embarrassing and unspeakable hidden disease. No other reason. Trust. In the United States, trust is much more important than embarrassment when seeing a doctor, because there are really many frightening things here. You never know when you will meet a crazy doctor who wants to create a new procedure, or test a new drug, or just simply study the deepest secrets of the human body. If you are tired and annoyed, you can carve your name on your liver and make an artistic signature. If the crazy doctor's God's perspective is evil and he carves Skynet property, kidnapping must be investigated or surprise MF on the DNA. It will really drive the devout believers crazy. Ted and his friends had no choice but to pretend they didn't know, but now that they have a friend like Adam who they trust and whose skills are first-rate, they would be foolish to go to other doctors. And it's easier and cheaper to go to Adam. For minor problems, they don't have to make an appointment or wait in line. They can get it done while chatting and laughing at a party. For major problems, with Adam's help, they can get first-hand and accurate information. They don't have to worry about doctors exaggerating the difficulty for the sake of convenience and safety, and not caring about the quality of life after surgery and doing a one-size-fits-all treatment. Under normal circumstances, most people can't tell whether it is necessary to do so. There are also quack doctors who make mistakes, treat the right leg when there is a problem with the left leg, and finally both legs are useless. It's not uncommon. Either they don't understand or they don't care, and it's common for a minor problem to be treated as a major problem, or even directly kill the patient. When Adam chatted with the nurses, he heard them say many similar things. An old nurse called them little punks. The template is like this. He was in the top 10 of the school, graduated in the top 5% of the grade, handsome, and had a promising future, but he just didn't care. During work hours, he either made phone calls or sent text messages to flirt. There is a classic case. Once a cyclist had an accident and his leg fell badly. After the nurse examined him, She told the young and handsome intern that there was bleeding in the ear canal. He felt like this and should do a CT scan to check if there was any brain hemorrhage. But the young and handsome doctor was playing with his phone and ignored her. He directly asked for a thigh x-ray. Then, in order to prove his diagnosis, he joked with the patient and got along well with her to prove that the patient was fine. The doctor was young, handsome, and friendly, so the patient was willing to believe him. Then, not long after, the patient died of acute subdural hematoma, ruptured cerebral blood vessels, and rapid intracranial bleeding. Afterwards, the nurse was sad to question the doctor. The doctor not only didn't care that it was his own mistake that caused the patient's death, but continued to flirt with his phone with a smile. He even thought it was flirting and kissed the nurse who questioned him. This is not an isolated case. According to the nurses, there are quite a few such people. There are very few people who pursue medical skills as devoutly as Adam and Christina. Even Meredith, George, and Liz, although sometimes unreliable, have a positive attitude towards learning medicine and are also excellent doctors. Otherwise, there would not be other residents who said that the interns under Dr. Bailey were demons as soon as Dr. Bailey went on maternity leave. Without a positive attitude to learn medicine and not having the best talent, if they dared to do so, they would have been complained by other residents and then eliminated by the chief of surgery as the group that must be eliminated. Think about it, and you will know that Christina's goal is to become the level of Dr. Burke, but there are so many hospitals and so many doctors. How many Dr. Burkes are there? Most doctors are mediocre. If there is a problem with attitude, it will be a disaster for many patients. In the next few days, Adam didn't see Anna coming. Ted didn't call him either. Adam thought they were fine, so he didn't care. After all, there are many reasons for a bad complexion, such as worrying and poor sleep. It's not a big deal. On the fourth day, Adam suddenly received a crying call from Lily. Adam, it's bad. Anna, she died in a car accident last night. What? Adam was shocked, then frowned and asked, she was in a car accident last night, why didn't you call me? If the patient was sent to him or he rushed to the scene, he might not have died. We just found out too. Lily cried, I heard that she died on the spot at the scene of the car accident last night and was sent directly to the funeral home. Anna's emergency contact was her mother, and her mother didn't know about her and Ted. It wasn't until this morning that Ted contacted Anna that he knew the news. Wow. Ted rushed to the funeral home like crazy, saw Anna's body, and then was stunned. No matter how we called him, he didn't respond. It was so scary. Come and see him. I'll be there right away. Adam didn't say anything. After hanging up the phone, he said something to Leonard, left the hospital, and drove to the funeral home. Chapter 649. Afterlife. Long Island, New York. In the town's largest funeral home, Ted sat on the ground in a daze. On the morgue bed in front of him, the white cloth covered most of his body, revealing only a pale face, with a 5 centimeters wound on the left side of his forehead that had just been sutured. Who else could it be but Ted's perfect girlfriend, Anna Taylor? Beside Ted was Matthew with a sad face and Lily with tears streaming down her face. Adam will be here soon. Lily hung up the phone and said to Matthew while looking at Ted. But Ted did not respond. A tall middle-aged man who had been standing silently next to him flashed his eyes, and his expressionless face immediately became gentle and amiable. Looking at Lily, is it Dr. Adam Duncan? Yes. Lily wiped her tears and looked at the middle-aged man. Do you know Adam? Yes. The tall middle-aged man nodded. We have met a few times. He was Elliot Deacon, whom Adam knew. Oh, yes. Lily wiped her tears and said, I heard from Adam that Monica's home is here, and her grandmother's funeral should be held here. Yes. Mr. Deacon nodded and glanced at Lily. Is Dr. Duncan coming? Of course. Lily looked at Ted, who was sitting on the ground without any reaction. Worriedly, Adam is our good friend. Of course he has to come at this time. It's a pity that no one notified him when the car accident happened last night. Otherwise, with his nickname of Miracle Doctor, if he rushed to the scene, perhaps such a thing would not have happened. Miracle Doctor? Mr. Deacon's eyes shrank. Yeah, Lily cried again. Although Adam is young, he has amazing medical talent. As soon as he entered the medical center, He created many miracles. Many people who were originally considered dead were revived again with his persistence and efforts. Woo! Why didn't anyone notify him last night? No matter how miracle it was, it would have been cold after one night. It's such a pity. Sorry, I have something else to do, so I won't stay with you for long. Mr. Deacon sighed, said something to Lily, nodded to the three people, and slowly walked out of the morgue. As soon as he walked out of the door, his face changed completely, from gentle and amiable to expressionless in an instant. He walked quickly to the attic and opened a cabinet door. Inside was a wall. On the wall hung a densely packed photo album. At first glance, they were all the last photos of the deceased. But if you look closely, many of the deceased's eyes are open. It is said that the eyes of the deceased have no light, but these open eyes clearly still have light. Are you proud? Mr. Deacon looked at these densely packed photo albums and said to himself, "Miracle doctor, let's take a look." As he spoke, he put away all the photos, then he started to pack things and clean the room. After everything was done, he took the bag down and put it on the passenger seat of the car. At this time, a sports car drove up quickly, stopped suddenly, and stopped steadily in the driveway. Adam got out of the car. Dr. Duncan. Mr. Deacon closed the passenger seat and walked over to Adam to greet him naturally. Mr. Deacon. Adam was not surprised. He had thought about this on the way here. Anna and Monica's grandmother all lived in this area, and Mr. Deacon's funeral home was the largest funeral home nearby. It was normal for them to handle burial matters here. If nothing unexpected happened, Sheldon's Aunt Beatty would die of illness soon, and the coffin, funeral, and burial would probably be carried out here. Where are Ted and the others? Follow me. Mr. Deacon gestured with his hand and led Adam to the underground morgue. Adam. Lily rushed over crying as soon as she saw Adam come in. Adam sighed, hugged Lily, patted her back, comforted her a few words, pushed her away, walked towards Ted, took a look, and gave Matthew an "no problem" expression. Then, he walked to the morgue bed and looked at Hannah, who had died young due to an accident. It was a pale face. Adam took a look and was moved. He reached out to touch Hannah's neck and asked casually, "Where is the death report? Can I see it?" "It's up there." "I'll get it." Mr. Deacon glanced at Adam, but didn't move his feet immediately. Adam released his hand on Anna's neck, walked in front of Lily and the others calmly, blocked Lily and the others, and looked at Mr. Deacon. Lily hadn't noticed anything yet, but Matthew's face changed. Mr. Deacon smiled and turned away. "Kate, bring someone here immediately." Adam called Kate immediately and quickly told her the problem he found. "I'll be there right away. Be careful." Kate shouted on the other end of the phone and hung up. "Adam, what's going on? Why did you call the police? Is there really something wrong with this undertaker?" Lily and Matthew were shocked. "Anna is not dead. She was injected with anesthetics and fell into a state of suspended animation." Adam looked at the door vigilantly. "It has been so long since last night. It is impossible for the undertaker not to have discovered this problem." And looking at the injection needle hole on Anna's neck, "It was injected not long ago." "Ah!" Lily screamed. "What? Anna is not dead?" Ted, who had been sitting on the ground and had not responded, screamed belatedly and climbed up directly from the ground. "Not dead." Adam nodded and said, "Wait until the effect of the anesthetic wears off. She will wake up." "Then what should we do now?" Matthew asked. "Wait for the police to come." "He has left." Adam had been paying attention to the movement outside. When he heard the sound of the car driving away, he immediately ran to the window and looked outside. He saw Mr. Deacon driving outside. When he turned the car around, he looked at Adam again, his eyes full of indifference and expressionlessness. This is his true face. "Okay, I'll help you contact the hospital," Adam quickly explained and ran out of the funeral home. "You wait here, I'll go after him." The reason why he didn't take action immediately was not because he was in awe of his god of war strength. In front of this cheater, any god of war would have to go to the doghouse. Adam was worried that he had a gun on him, and Lily and the others were around. If something went wrong, it would be a tragedy. So Adam would rather let him go first. As for why he let him go and then chased him, that's because Adam had offended the other party. Knowing that the other party was a cruel and extremely dangerous person, he naturally couldn't let the other party go unpunished. Regardless of whether the other party would retaliate or not, It was necessary to eliminate the threat in advance, so he notified Kate. As a policeman, and a high-level policeman, as long as Mr. Deacon dared to resist, it would be completely reasonable and legal for Kate to shoot him. All Adam had to do was to keep an eye on Mr. Deacon and prevent him from escaping. With his driving skills and the performance of the sports car, this possibility was almost impossible. It was a pity that Adam's good relationship with Dr. Montgomery, which he had worked hard to build, and Dr. Montgomery's damn love at first sight were wasted. Dr. Montgomery was really unlucky. He had just decided to escape from the two most important men in the first half of his life, and thought he had met the only love and soulmate of the second half of his life. But he didn't expect that the other party was a cruel criminal. "Kate, where are you?" "He escaped. I'm following him now. Understand? I won't get close to him." "Hurry up." Adam drove, hanging behind Mr. Deacon's car not too far away. Chapter 650 The Shocking Truth. Long Island, New York. Mr. Deacon was driving a white pickup truck on the road, observing the surroundings calmly. Although Adam was highly skilled and did not hang very close to him, he was still discovered by Mr. Deacon, who had the appearance of a god of war. Then he began to speed up and tried to get rid of Adam. After turning a few streets, he realized that this was a delusion, so he immediately changed his strategy and drove out of the city, looking at Adam behind him through the rearview mirror from time to time. "Kate, where are you?" Adam asked on the phone. "He fled to the suburbs. I caught up with him soon." As soon as Kate's voice fell, Adam's keen hearing heard the sound of the blades of a helicopter approaching quickly in the distance. "That's right." Kate took action and directly used the police helicopter. Mr. Deacon soon discovered this big trouble and decisively drove off the road and plunged into the woods. He was not Adam, and he was not driving a sports car. It was pure delusion to compete with the police helicopter on the main road to get rid of the other party by speed. "Hurry up," Adam warned. "He's going into the woods." He was driving a sports car with a low chassis, so it was inconvenient to drive through the woods. Fortunately, he didn't care about the car, had good eyesight, and was a master of driving, so there was no problem for a while. "I see you," Kate shouted. Then Adam saw a helicopter flying over the roof of his car quickly and directly caught up with Mr. Deacon's white van. Kate's shout rang out from the police loudspeaker. "Nibd, stop and check." Mr. Deacon ignored her and went deeper into the woods, trying to avoid the threat of the helicopter. "Officer Beckett." He ignored the warning. "Do I need to force him to stop?" Adam asked. "Can you?" Kate asked with concern. "Cooperating with the police is our duty as citizens." Adam smiled. "Okay." Kate naturally knew Adam's character and strength, and said formally, "Dr. Duncan." The other party ignored the police warning. "You can try to force him to stop." "Got it." Adam felt a little excited for some reason. Kate, who was on the police helicopter, was very familiar with Adam's voice. She immediately understood what Adam was thinking. She cursed in her heart and her face was a little hot. "Don't be so arrogant. The nearby police officers are already behind him. He can't get away." "Understood." Adam also saw the flashing police lights behind him from the rear-view mirror. "I moved." At this time, Adam found a good opportunity. His super-genius brain instantly simulated the entire process of the collision, and all the calculations were completed simultaneously. Then, he stepped on the accelerator, and the super-acceleration ability of the supercar instantly allowed him to catch up with the white truck and hit it sideways. The terrain restrictions made the white truck tilted a little, and the wheels just ran over a stone at this time. Under Adam's subtle collision, the white truck could no longer maintain its balance, fell sideways, slid forward, and hit a big tree before stopping. "Okay." Adam immediately reminded Kate after the collision, "Prepare to arrest him. Be careful, he is very dangerous." "Got it," Kate said, and directly told the driver to hover. She put down the ladder and climbed down skillfully and quickly. Adam also got out of the car at this time, staring at Mr. Deacon's movements in the white van. The heroic Kate ran over with a gun and pulled Adam behind her. "You hide. Leave this to me." "How many magazines did you bring?" Adam couldn't help asking. 6. "What's wrong?" Kate asked subconsciously while approaching with a gun. "When there is danger, empty the magazine as soon as possible," Adam reminded. "This time I'm serious. I'm a police officer." Although Kate knew that Adam was kind, She was too familiar with him and still heard the vague ridicule in his words. This was not the first time he said this in front of her. In the United States, once a police officer senses danger, it is a basic operation to empty the magazine. There are also more exaggerated ones. It doesn't count as emptying one magazine. They just empty all the magazines they carry. Once it's empty, they change the magazine, empty it again, and change it again. The reason for doing this is to suppress firepower and reduce casualties. Criminals in the United States can easily get a large number of guns and ammunition. If they are not careful, they can cause a large number of casualties to police officers, and in the case that there is no guarantee of killing with one shot, no one knows whether the opponent can continue to fight back after being shot. This is not a joke. Adam heard from Kate that they once encountered a gangster. Several police officers cross-fired, constantly emptied the magazines, continued to change, and continued to empty them. They fired more than 100 rounds in a row, and shot the opponent into a sieve. As a result, the opponent still did not die. In their incredible eyes, he shot a police officer with a backhand shot. This incident caused a great sensation. After that, the leaders of their police station repeatedly held meetings to emphasize that when encountering danger, the first thing to do is to empty the magazine, and the second thing to do is to completely stop the target. Nibed, put your hands where we can see them, and take your time. Kate, holding a gun, and her partner, in battle formation, slowly approached the white van that had fallen there. The police car that followed behind also arrived. The local police officers nearby got out of the car and hid behind the car door at the first time, holding their guns and watching Kate and the others' actions from a distance. Safety first. Come out slowly now. Mr. Deacon did not intend to continue resisting. He raised his hands, his forehead was bleeding, but he walked out with a smile on his face. This disappointed Adam. For the existence that might threaten himself, Adam most appreciated the empty magazine theory of the U.S. police. Mr. Deacon was not important to Adam. It was important for Adam to not have Mr. Deacon. Now it seems that Mr. Deacon is not as brave as that pseudo-Lily in her 30s. What a pity. Kate and her partner arrested Mr. Deacon. After confirming that there was no danger, the local police officers stepped forward and began to clean up the van and look for possible evidence of the crime. Holy shit. Adam couldn't help but swear when he saw the police officers bring a satchel and open it to reveal a large stack of photos, many of which were photos of deceased people with their eyes open. What's wrong? Kate didn't understand. Look, Adam pointed at the photos. These are most likely victims killed by him. Hiss. No way. Kate went forward and flipped through them. There were so many photos inside that there were more than 100 of them. She, a criminal police officer who specializes in major criminal crimes, gasped and her scalp went numb. Why? Adam looked at Mr. Deacon, who was smiling calmly. I'm just helping the world clean up The Walking Dead. Mr. Deacon smiled and said, keeping them in the world will only waste air. They don't understand the meaning of life at all. And it too? Adam said coldly, she just fell in love with my friend. She is. Mr. Deacon smiled and said, you don't have my talent, you can't see it. If you hadn't come here, she would have been sent away peacefully by me. What a pity. Why inject anesthetic? Why not just kill her? Adam couldn't help but ask. Everyone has the right to redeem themselves. Mr. Deacon said calmly, if she really understands the value of her existence between life and death, and is no longer a zombie that wastes air, then she can still have a chance to return to the world. If she can't understand, then she can only go to hell. Believe me, these zombies are all the same. Even if they are given another chance, none of them can understand the value of life. You buried them all alive? Adam thought of something and shouted in shock. What? Kate and others heard this, looked at the calm Mr. Deacon, and then looked at the thick stack of photos in the bag. They were well informed and trembling. This is too scary. Adam, are you sure? Kate was unwilling to accept this conjecture. Find the deceased who died recently with his eyes open, open his coffin, and you will know at a glance. Adam's face was heavy. Buried alive is one of the most painful ways to die. Isn't this going to hell? P.S. Thank you for the reward from the plane shuttle. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.